And we're back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm Jon, and with me, as always, Tyler.
Jon, hello.
Music cut out a little early there.
I'm sorry. Well, it's a fade. It's a fader.
No, I got it.
It's not a knob anymore.
I'm just used to hearing a little bit of sound still.
I'm sorry. We can bring it back up. Audience can't hear it. It literally just ended. So one of my main things, and I was just thinking about this as I was setting this up. I'm like, what if you start humming along one day?
Yeah,
it's gonna screw me up because I'm gonna have to match it.
Yeah.
to the music.
There's like this exercise musicians do where you're humming along or singing along to the radio.
Yeah,
and then you mute it and you continue singing the song and then you bring it back. So a tempo exercise, very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
Why would you put I guess if you're a musician, you kind of need that. That's important.
We do things that are stupid.
Why would you put yourself through that? It kind of makes sense.
It's exercise, man.
Yeah.
Practice. You're
Sure.
always practicing.
What's going on?
So, exciting news. I got a new car.
I like how you come in to the apartment all chill.
Yeah.
You don't mention anything. You're just like,
No.
you're talking about work or normal stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, I got a new car. Like, just nonchalantly.
Threw it out there.
Yeah.
Wanted to see the reaction.
I stopped it right away. We went outside. We saw it. It's
Yeah.
a pretty nice car.
It is good. It is a fun car. So I got a 2019 Challenger. So it's Dodge.
I
The
guess
Dodge brothers.
Dodge is all right.
Dodge kind of sucks, but
Okay.
the Challengers are cool.
Ford's not. I mean, I guess they have the Mustang, right?
Yeah, Fords do Mustangs and then just trucks now, I think. They don't even do cars anymore.
I never liked a single Ford I ever drove.
No. Their production cars were shit. My mom had a Ford Fusion where the engine came off its block. So there was this crazy rattling going on. And this happened for months before she got into the shop. And then they just looked at her. They're like, this could have fallen through your car at any moment.
Like, what are you doing?
They were shocked that she's still alive.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's not
good.
This is not a sponsorship for Ford.
No, it's especially not.
Yeah.
I did want a Mustang, but I couldn't find one. But I saw this one, and Tyler checked it out. It's pretty nice. It's got all the options. So
I kid you not, it's the core of a Batmobile. If I was gonna build a Batmobile off a car,
yeah,
it would be your car.
Doesn't it have the vibes of the Batman's Batmobile?
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. What was his car?
What
car did they use for his?
I don't know, but it was a muscle car inspired Batmobile because it was it kind of looked like a Challenger, but not 100%. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. I'd have to see it again too, but
it's kind of like how Batman was a kind of good movie, but not 100%.
Right. It's it's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
But I actually, again, I love that scene. And I love that Batmobile.
It's good. And I think that car, you were talking, you were going into detail about here's the texture on it. What would you call it? What was the texture called on the paint job?
Oh, the paint, mica?
Mica? Yeah.
Yeah, the sparkly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
real
nice. Yeah. The paint is called Granite Crystal, I think, is the production name.
I love black cars. And this one is it's kind of gray, but it's dark gray.
Yeah.
I might like that more.
It's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, the sparkle to it is super awesome. The ray tracing, spot on.
It's super realistic.
Yeah. That's all I was thinking about. I was like, man, this would be so hard to make in a game.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, the Forza Motorsport, the new one, whatever it is, what are they on? 8 now?
Did they actually put a number to it, or did they just call it Forza Motorsport?
Yeah, they're just calling it Forza Motorsport, which is stupid because it should be 8, but whatever. They're going to have ray tracing in the game now, while you're racing. So it used to be in Forza Horizon 5 right now, there's ray tracing in when you're looking at the cars, which looks amazing. It's the best part. But now when you're actually racing, that's going to be sweet.
I need to read up on that because I thought there was some controversy on is it ray tracing?
Or
are they fudging some stuff?
I was looking at it, can an Xbox Series X handle that? That is...
I don't think a 3080 Ti can handle it.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Because you have X amount of cars doing X amount of things, and then you have to reflect all of that. So like multiply that by whatever, right? Like that's
the thing
insane.
Is like, is it just like shadows?
Right.
You know, like did they take all the reflections?
The trailer
out?
they showed obviously looked really good. The in-game, what do they call it? Like in-game visual.
Yeah, in-game with like 3080 Ti's just like cranking and sweating.
Wow, it was it was like at 30 frames or even less.
Which I don't like. I don't think there's a universe where I'd be like, oh, hey, let's crank it up the visuals that much on a racing game. Like I feel like 60 is you need that minimum.
Yeah, no, you need the frames, but the visuals are fun.
Yeah, but that's what the showcase, like the car room is for.
Yeah. I guess it's hard to notice reflections when you're. I don't know though, but like the trailer was sweet when you can see your car in the reflection of the car you're passing. It was pretty cool.
My like just sitting in your car, I'm like, I kind of want to download Forza again, like Horizon. Yeah. I might do it.
I'm just gonna go around to all my friends and convince them.
This out.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And then I'll have friends to play Forza with.
Yeah,
Forza's fun, man. I still have a good time with it.
I mean, I have it, so.
Although, dude, they came out with the Hot Wheels expansion, and like, I do not give a fuck about Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna play Hot Wheels, I'll play the Hot Wheels game they literally just came out with.
Like, I don't want this in like I want real cars in Forza. I don't want Hot Wheels.
Snob.
I'm not a snob, but it's like I don't know. Like you're exactly right. If I want to play with Hot Wheels, I'll either go to the store or I'll play the actual Hot Wheels license
sounds like
game.
A take that Santa Claus skin out of Battlefield. I want my Battlefield to be realistic.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, I know it's not. I know Forza Horizon's not like hyper realistic.
Yeah,
but there's a certain amount of immersion I want. I don't want to see a fucking Hot Wheels car going on a loop to loop.
Does it take you? I assume it takes you out of Mexico, right?
I think it's in the sky.
Oh no! So you're just driving around Mexico, and there's just like orange loop to loops. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't booted the game up in a while, but I think they said that festival was in the sky. I was like, what the fuck?
That would make sense, but that's got to be an opt-in thing, right?
Yeah, it's an expansion. It's a
yeah.
I don't know. I think you probably get something with Game Pass. You seem to get everything with Game Pass.
How crappy would it be if they just put that in the world? And the only way to get up there is you have to buy the expansion, but you have to look at this like monstrosity of orange track that's just in the game perpetually.
That would be kind of wild. That's actually a great idea. So, as people know, I watch anime. Okay,
yeah,
it's just a thing.
It's a thing.
So I just finished one, Sword Art Online, which pretty popular, but it gets like a really bad rap.
Okay,
it was like very okay. Like I was like. Some good things, like some really cringe things. The point is, it's about like this virtual reality, and they have these helmets and shit, and virtual reality is like really big. And they go into this game, and then it was like a trap. So the maker of the game, like, you can't log out and shit. And if you die in the game, you like die in real life, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I thought it was an interesting premise or whatever. My point of this is, in the game. There's like, well, technically it's like the second game, whatever. In the game, in this MMO, there's like this big world tree, right? And it's like almost impossible to get up it, but you get to see this thing in the middle of the map like the whole time you're playing. I kind of like that idea where it's like you can see the end goal, like the heavens are there.
Yeah.
And we have to get strong enough to like eventually fight our way up the tree or whatever and get to the promised land, right?
So basically like Elden Ring.
Is that what Elden Ring is?
I don't know. I just remember it. There's a giant tree in the middle.
Yeah. But that's not the end game, is it?
Oh,
maybe
buddy, I don't know. I can't get out. I get killed by a bunch of wolves.
Well, it's a sweet idea. Maybe that's why everyone likes it.
Maybe.
Get killed by wolves.
Yeah, they're crafty buggers.
They hunt in packs.
I'm thinking, and I know this is kind of a tangent, but
it's dangerous.
Yeah. Anyway. It's like a Gaston thing. I was going to start humming a few bars.
He says don't think.
He's like, LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. LeFou is like a dangerous pastime.
Yeah, it's all coming back. How about this?
Yeah.
My friend's girlfriend, straight face, no cap, told me that the live action Beauty and the Beast is better than the original.
Well, she has to be trolling, obviously.
No.
Like that's silly.
I tried to convey how ridiculous she was being.
That's a silly goose.
That's not even a silly goose. That's an incorrect goose.
Your friend.
That's a goose. That's like a duck who thinks he's a goose.
I'm not saying,
you know what I'm saying?
Immediately break up, but it's one of those like, hey, you should talk over some things.
Right.
Like make sure everything is like kind of copacetic or whatever we said, and make sure, you're on the same page. Because I feel like once you start going down that rabbit hole of like,
or that goose hole.
Or the goose hole.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
She saw my car and she was like, she turned to her boyfriend. She was like, if you ever buy something like that, we're breaking up. I was like,
oh, well, there you go. You don't have to have a conversation. It's like a two birds, one goose thing where two gooses, one stone.
In the bush is worth one stone in the
car
sword.
In the driveway. Yeah. The one thing I'll say with the whatever we were talking about, Beauty and the Beast live action.
Yeah.
Definitely better than Aladdin.
Right.
Definitely not good.
Dude, you're never going to be better than the original. Like, these originals are masterpieces.
Yeah.
And like everything else that's animated becomes live action, it's just terrible.
I will say I was super wrong. So I actually liked Emma Watson as Belle. And I know a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why? What's the problem? And everyone's like, oh, she's a terrible singer. And I'm like, well, hey, she's better than me. Yeah, I thought she was fine.
Well, if you use that logic, then everything's good.
Yeah, well,
unless you're looking at like advertisements, you're like, oh, this guy's shit.
Well, so like, do you think Ian McGregor is a good singer?
What did he sing in?
The one musical.
Yeah, that one.
No, Come What May. The ball thing.
Star Wars.
What's the show ball the musical?
Show ball?
The Monty Python. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Somebody's screaming.
I haven't seen it. Whatever.
Someone's screaming. It's with the girl from Batman. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute.
He's going for the phone now,
going
folks.
for the phone because I'm going to feel dumb.
I could fill time here, but I'd rather sit here and watch how uncomfortable you are.
Ewan McGregor. Hold on. Gregor musical.
Hey, we're all holding for you, buddy. This is 10 out of 10 podcasting.
It's not even Moulin Rouge. It's not even worth.
That.
Okay,
I've never seen that.
That's fine. I don't
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, and
classic.
It's not Kate Winslet came back and Sale. Alicia Silverstone. Alicia, who's the girl in Batman Forever?
Alicia Keys?
No, not Alicia Keys.
Okay.
The other one. Nicole Kidman. So it's Nicole Kidman.
Close.
And Ian McGregor.
Yeah.
And they're singing.
In Batman?
Not in Batman. Oh, in Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
And I don't think they're particularly good, but they are fine. Like they did a good job. They're good actors. They did a good job in the movie.
Right.
So anyway, I thought this is way too long on Beauty and the Beast.
I think this is the appropriate amount of time we need to spend on this.
I thought Emma Watson was fine, and and it's been a while since I watched the cartoon. So as we do, we go and watch the inferior movie, and then we come home and watch the better one. We did that with Batman. We did that with Beauty and the Beast. I didn't think they were
still playing the animated movie in theaters.
No, we have it at home. We have it at home. We watched it in the Disney Channel. Yeah. So we go home, and Belle has like a ballin' voice. Like
they all
she's
do.
Like an opera singer type of thing.
Fantastic.
So it's like, okay, I get it, but if you're going as far to like all the French people had like their wigs and their powdered faces and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, we want to be really serious with the time period and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well then, like, why is it not serious that Belle was like a normal person that just happened to like singing? She doesn't have to be like this trained opera singer.
She's a Disney princess, which means she's unbelievably talented at singing. It's just inexplicable.
Yeah.
How about the fact that I literally just thought of this?
Okay.
Like, first time ever in my life, and I can't believe no one's ever thought of this.
Okay.
The Little Mermaid can sing underwater.
Yeah.
That's like a superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it's all in like your head? It's all telepathic.
Why would she move her mouth then?
Just so you can read lips. So you like, because maybe it's telepathic
But wouldn't water enter her esophagus every time she opens her mouth?
I feel like mermaids have like a special force field. It's like an invisible
The top
dome.
part of her is human, which means she has human lungs.
Is it? Is that mermaids aren't any part human though?
Why is the top part human then?
Well, I mean, are mermaids mammals? They have hair.
No, because the bottom part is fish.
But they have hair.
So
then, I mean...
Is that the only classification of a mammal? They have to lay eggs because the fish part is the egg part.
I guess.
I
don't even want to know how.
I'm telling you.
I mean, do we know how mermaids reproduce? Did we go down that road?
I don't think we have yet.
Mer people?
But we're vigorously
we're skating researching. That line. Yeah. I don't know.
And we're going to have a thesis on it right after our Zerg thesis.
I will say that Mulan might be the worst live-action Disney movie they made.
Ooh, worse than Aladdin.
I think I'm too biased on Aladdin.
Because you took the greatest.
And you made it
the
terrible.
Worst. Yeah.
So my heart says Aladdin is the worst one.
Sure.
But I think looking at Mulan and how they're like, we're not singing. That's not appropriate for the culture.
No.
And whatever.
No one has ever sung in China ever.
And they want to be...
Did you know that?
Quote unquote realistic. I didn't know that. That's...
Yeah, they want to be real. Isn't there like magic in it?
There's literally like phoenixes and magic and she's jumping up in the air off horseback backwards where physics doesn't make sense. Like think like Legolas running up a broken staircase.
Sure.
Physics. And
arguably the best archer ever to live.
And bicycle kicking like arrows at people. Like
he can do that because he's an elf.
She cannot.
She cannot because she's a human.
That's absolutely. She's all human.
And she's only trained for approximately 1 week.
Right. In movie time.
Arguably one of the best songs ever made. Now, like if I had that song, Be a Man, is that what it's called?
Yes.
I might be superhuman too. Like, who knows? Like, I'm like 80% sure when Captain America goes in the capsule, that song's playing
on repeat,
and he comes out.
Yep.
That might be the secret formula.
That's got to be something on YouTube, right? Where they just put "Be a Man" on everything like that.
Yeah,
like a montage.
That might be a meme. I don't think it's a meme yet, but we might be on the forefront
now. Yeah,
on the forefront.
How do we talk about this? What was this?
We were talking about a car. And we got to Mulan.
Yeah.
Seems like a direct kind of
line
there, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's all right.
Disney movies used to be a lot better, I feel like.
Yeah. Is Tangled the best like universally like or the latest universally loved movie aside from...
but that's like 2010.
Yeah.
Right? Or 2011 or something. So it's like I don't know. I was watching Raya and the Last Dragon or something. Kind of Mulan vibes because she's like a badass. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I don't know. It was not hitting me
just because there's nothing new anymore.
I guess. And it's tough. And I know we've talked about this before probably, but at what point is it nostalgia or were things just better in the golden age? Like, was there a golden age? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. And like a lot of it, is it a golden age because it's the first time we are seeing that in our lives, right? So everything up to this point is just kind of rehashed, which isn't necessarily bad, but even on the movies we've seen, like, and I don't know why Ocean's 11's popping in my head, but I watch Ocean's 11, I'm like, this is the coolest movie ever. I love this movie. And then you find out, oh yeah, this is just a remake, right? Yeah. And it's just like, oh, okay. So I mean, maybe all these movies that are kind of like rehashes or they're trying to play off the quote unquote nostalgia of it, or like, you know, for instance, the episode 7 Star Wars movies, like, this is just the same as 4. Sure, but it's a new generation watching it and it's just like a new coat of paint on it.
So you didn't wait long enough.
That's what, So my thesis is absorb nothing in the first maybe like 15, 20 years of your life and just shut down and don't interact with society or pop culture at all.
I see.
And then emerge in like your early 20s. I think that's the way to play it.
To play what? Being a social outcast?
Life. Just your existence.
So I don't know. I mean, like I feel like there's a clearly defined golden age of Disney. Where it's like...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going off...
Aladdin?
Yes.
Or Beauty and the Beast, whichever came first. There's like Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Aladdin.
Yeah.
Mulan's in there.
Yeah. Lion King.
Lion King.
I'll give you like your Little Mermaids and things
Little Mermaid's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's got some of the greatest music.
Yeah.
Easily. So... I don't know, dude. I go back and I'm like, yeah, that's better than Cinderella. That's better than Snow White. It's better than Sleeping Beauty for sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's better than.
Do they hold candles to? Well, I agree with you on the Frozen, but
yeah.
I mean, you can't deny Let It Go is catchy as heck.
Hey, no, I think Frozen has great music. I think it's overrated personally, but
the music.
No, I think the music's quite good. I think like the story's not great. I think the characters aren't like.
Yeah,
Kristoff is like one of the worst princes ever. Mm-hmm. It's like name something about that guy. Like name a characteristic that he has besides talking to his reindeer.
He's blonde.
Yeah,
is he blonde.
He is blonde.
Okay, it's a characteristic,
a character trait, a personality trait, I should say.
All right, yeah.
It's like that's it. Like it's like him and his reindeer.
Yeah.
Whatever, Sven or something. And then he talks for Sven. Super cringe. I hate when he does that.
Yeah.
And Anna's great. She's fantastic. I actually really like Anna. But Elsa,
I saw this movie one time. I don't know.
They should have killed Elsa. I mean, if we're being honest, this might be the greatest Disney film ever at that point. Elsa just goes full evil, full send.
Yeah.
Anna has to kill her. We teach children that life's horrible and you might have to kill your sibling. That's a fantastic family lesson right there, right? Like,
yikes.
You know, people will be corrupted by power.
Yeah.
And you might have to stop them.
And you should be afraid of winter.
You should be absolutely terrified of winter. That's another extremely valuable lesson. Cover up your toes.
Yikes.
What do you mean, yikes?
No,
That's good. You got to cover them up.
Well, oh, yeah. I was giving yikes more on the whole, like, evil.
Do you think the wolf from
Wall Street?
Yes, but no. From the Three Little Pigs.
Okay.
Was that a wolf?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Wolf. I always get memed on for that.
I think wolf's fine. Like, wolf is only important if you're talking about Dick Wolf.
Anyway, so do you think he's like one of the greatest villains of all time?
You mean in terms of like power or what?
I don't know. Just like overall, like he steps up. Okay.
Yeah.
And just absolutely egos on these pigs because he can.
But in the most like polite way possible.
That's what I'm saying. It's
like he knocks and says like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna.
It's like, hey, arrest me. I dare you. What law did I break? I'm literally just whistling or something, right? Like, is it going to hold up in court? There's absolutely no way.
Yeah.
Pigs are notorious for having decent lawyers, as everyone knows in the in that cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
Not cinematic, but that kind of lore.
Well, if it's cinematic universe, then this is the same wolf that I would assume ate grandma.
Is it the same? I feel like they're probably cousins.
Okay. But like close, are we talking like mob cousin type things where it's like in a pinch they'll vouch for each other? Yeah,
maybe.
What
is this guy doing though? I mean, he's literally just blowing over houses for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean he's testing himself, right?
Yeah,
like
he's testing his power. Maybe he is the hero.
And was that story that was more about like, hey, don't be lazy, right? Because it was like, hey,
what is the message of that?
Sticks and brick. And brick was like, hey, I'm going to work.
Yeah. I think you're right. Does he give them warning? He's like, I'm going to come back and blow your house down.
No, he just knocks and is like, hey, let me in.
Does the pig who are they pigs or am I just making it?
No, they're pigs.
Fantastic.
They're pigs, yeah.
So is the pig who I think his name's Harold. Does Harold, who builds the stone house, of course, warn the other ones?
Yeah.
Stone brick, yeah.
Well,
does he warn them? Does he warn them?
Part of this.
That hey, you guys got to build up your house. There's a wolf on the loose.
Yeah, I think it's like another version of the ant and grasshopper.
Is this the wolf the boy's crying about? Is actually, I mean, how connected does this go?
I assume there's only one wolf in this universe. Yeah.
Well, the one that ate grandma died, didn't he?
Did he?
In Hoodwinked, I think so.
Huh.
Actually, maybe not. You remember that movie?
No.
It was a meme. That might be my time. I can't even remember what happens in that.
Hoodwinked.
Yeah, it's like Little Red Riding Hood, but it's like, imagine Little Red Riding Hood, but it's like Shrek.
Oh, yeah.
It's like just total memes the whole time. It's fantastic.
I do remember.
But I don't remember what happens like specifically. I just remember it's funny. I don't, maybe the wolf dies. But yeah, you might be right. It might be the same one.
I don't know. It's one of those, like, I think at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I have hay. I'm going to make a house out of hay. It's going to take me 3 seconds to do. And I'm just going to play the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And the sticks, a little bit longer, but still plays. And then the dude doing the brick housing is taking like no time to play. Make it. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Who had the best life? I mean.
Easily the hay.
The hay guy.
Yeah.
You know, while his house did blow down, you know, he really got to do what he wanted to do.
Not only did his house blow down,
yeah,
but he got to get some cardio in.
Yep.
Run over to the Sticks house.
Yep.
Say hi to his brother.
Hey, what's up?
You know, catch up.
Yeah.
And then you get to go to this like brick mansion.
Yeah.
And you're safe anyway.
Put in zero work.
And still come out on top. Seems like a no-brainer.
So really the lesson is probably don't do any work. Just know someone who did the work.
Exactly.
Wow. Fantastic.
Also Winter and evil sisters and all that.
Cover up your feet.
Yep.
Hugely important. Forrest Gump taught me that. Well, specifically Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
There's 2 rules. And I forget the first, but the second one was cover your feet.
Cover your feet and know a pig with a brick.
Change your socks and build a stone house in high wolf areas.
How's that Red Bull treating you?
It's pretty good. I got the big one today. Nice. And I think the audience is learning something about themselves.
I don't even know what I'm going to do with the timestamps. I'm just going to talk about like Disney gibberish, maybe.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney gibberish, not to go too long on a tangent for TV shows, we went through like, so we got a month of Disney because we wanted to go through like Kenobi and stuff.
Sure.
So we went through Kenobi, fine. Boba Fett, it's okay. We went through Moon Knight, surprisingly good.
Okay.
I was into some Moon Knight.
Wow.
I know nothing about, I don't know if you know anything about Moon Knight.
I know that he likes the moon.
And yes.
Does he actually? That was a guess.
Not really.
Okay.
But there's like, he's like this avatar of these Egyptian gods and he has like multiple personality. It's like bizarre and it's really well, like I enjoyed it a lot.
Have you been watching the new one? Miss Marvel? Is that what it's called?
I have not yet. So Miss Marvel's on the docket. I watched the trailer for it. I don't
think
really
it's
care.
doing too well in terms of popularity, but I could be wrong.
We watched the trailer. So it's funny. We watched the trailer for Miss Marvel. We watched the trailer for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
We watched the trailer for Eternals.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe we move on to Netflix and see what's on there. We did watch Shang-Chi.
Yep.
I liked it a lot.
Did you?
Like, it made me hate Matrix 4 even more.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that.
Yeah, they were fighting on a bus, and I was like, oh, this is like really cool. Marvel did their Marvel BS of like, hey, let's add a bunch of CGI stuff and do outlandish things, but like there's a lot of good choreography there. So it is what it is. But that was a good movie. We started, we finished Umbrella Academy season 3 or 4 or something. Yeah. That was good. We've been going through a lot. But
no, that's pretty good.
My rundown.
What have I finished? Sopranos, obviously. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic show. Been watching, catching up on the animes. So I watched Sword Art, super mid. Would not recommend.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Like Nate likes that show, which is wild because Nate has very particular tastes, and there's a lot of cringe in the show. I'm like, how the fuck does Nate like it? But I've theorized that if you really like MMOs, you'll like this show because it like explores that and shit. And so people who like MMOs, they're probably like, oh, this would be so cool if this was real and shit. So I that's what I think. I don't know.
Would I like this show more than playing an MMO?
Oh man, yes. Do you have to put equal amount of time in the MMO? Like the amount of time it takes to watch or play that amount of time in an MMO?
Yes.
Depends which one. I mean, there are some moments where I was like really bored.
So every MMO.
Yeah. Okay. I'd rather watch it because at least I just get to sit there. Maybe take a little nappy.
Sure.
But I mean, there were some good fights in it. You know, there's some. That's why I gave it like a 7 out of 10 on my list.
That's good.
7 out of 10 for me is like average, but it's like a low 7 out of 10. So again, my scale is 10 out of 10 is a masterpiece. 9 out of 10, I loved it. 8 out of 10 is a solid show. 7's like, okay, not bad, not great. 6 is like, okay, I barely got through this. And then 5 and below is like, I dropped it. Like I couldn't finish it.
So 5 is just bad. And
5 is a failing grade, yeah.
Varying degrees of how much you don't like it.
The lowest score I have is like a 4 out of 10, which is Dragon Ball GT. That show is just fucking horrific. It was the worst show ever.
All right.
They were like, what if we made Goku a kid again? And he was super weak. And he has to go find more Dragon Balls. And we did this like 20 years ago.
That sounds terrible.
It was fucking horrific. It was like the power levels in like Dragon Ball Z got crazy.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is sweet, dude. Goku's the man. And then they're like, let's just wipe away all of that. Start back at the beginning.
So stupid.
Who writes this shit? Who thought that was a good idea?
People that made the prequels.
I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I watched that. And I've been watching Spy X Family. Fantastic show.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a wholesome show, this one's great.
All right.
It's a great one. I don't know.
Great. That's like 8 and 9, right?
9, yeah.
9.
I think I'm going to put it as 9. There's 2 episodes left, but it's pretty solid.
All right.
I like it.
Did you get to watch Earthbound and Down?
Homeward Bound was okay.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of animals were hurt in the production of that, which is horrific. I forget who told me that. It might have been our research department.
I don't know.
We were talking about Homeward Bound at some point on the podcast.
I don't want to think about that. I didn't realize that anyone was hurt.
Some animals were, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Is that that must have been before they put like the little blurb that's like no animals were harmed in the production?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Or maybe they lied.
Is that like Air Bud? It's like, hey, no, this is
Air Bud.
Instead of that line, this is totally the same dog.
Bro, Air Bud, like the football one, that's the one I had. They would like whip that thing at him and it'd get like in his mouth. And I'd be like, you're probably hurting this poor pup.
Yeah, that's...
I'm like, bro, they're slinging footballs at
anything animal needs to just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, and the basketball one's probably even worse because he shoots by hitting it with his nose.
Yeah, it just has a little...
Yeah, but
stubby nose.
Yeah, that's like, dude, that can't be good for the dog. It's just like slamming his nose into like a basketball.
I like how this is like an audio podcast, but you're still doing the gesture with your face.
It's so forceful, man.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Just saying, like that poor dog. Anyways, no, I have not watched Planet Earth 2.
Yeah.
Which is the greatest TV show of all time according to IMDb.
Before you leave, remind me and let me check my DVD collection and see if I have it.
Okay, I don't think you have it. I think it might be on the server though, so.
Oh, did John get it for you?
I asked him to.
All right.
I have to watch this. It's going to be a life-changing experience.
Oh, no. Well, that's what I'm doing tonight.
What?
I have to format my computer and get him that processor tonight. I told him I'd bring it to him tomorrow.
I told you.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Hey, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we got all of the inspiration out of the way.
That's 30 minutes of Disney talk and cars.
I could talk about Disney. That's like one of the topics I feel very comfortable on. Like anyone brings up Disney, I can hold my own for a very long time.
Anything that's not new stuff.
Yeah, that's true. If they start talking about like Encanto, we're going to be struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to be struggling a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know who Bruno is or why we don't mention his name.
But yeah, I'm pretty good on that topic. What do you think your worst topic is? Like if someone brings something up.
My worst topic?
Yeah.
Oh,
like in the entire world, like
in the entire world.
Yeah, anything. Like you're at a party, someone brings this topic up, and you're uncomfortable because it's like I don't know anything about this.
Oh,
you can't even contribute.
I don't know. Do you have something on your mind? Well, I think
first thing that came to my mind is like a Roth IRA.
Yeah, I was thinking taxes, but
like we're friends with Mike, so it's like I hear about it all the time.
And I feel like you could say words that sound intelligent.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like when I scroll through the TikToks occasionally, there's this guy that starts talking about like, here's your speed of light and expanding universes and things like that. So that seems pretty like, I don't even know how I think you're about that.
Interested in that though, so you can ask questions.
I could say things, yeah.
Okay, I got mine actually. Any popular song. I am so unaware of popular music to the point where people will name pop artists that are very well known, and I have no idea who they are.
BTS? BST?
What is that? Is that a boy band?
It's like a
big time. I think it's Big Time Studs.
Korean band.
Oh,
BTS.
I might know them.
It's.
I don't know any of their songs. Like,
but I was listening to it, and it stands for like something like Boy Scout something.
Tandem.
Boy Scout tandem.
Side motorcycle.
Side motorcycle.
Sidecar.
Yeah, sidecars.
Boy Scout.
It's a long one. It's
tandem
a long name.
Sidecar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen them. They're pretty popular, but I don't know their music.
The only reason I know them is because they were on Beat Saber.
But like, someone will say, "Oh, have you heard so and so's new album?" I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Everything I listen to is like 100 years old, man.
Yeah, I wish I had anything. I mean, honestly, even like the news, like unless it's something big.
How you hold your own with the news, great.
Only when the world's talking about it. Like, I wish I knew. Okay, here's a perfect one.
Okay.
Anything to do with local government.
Okay.
Like, if you want to talk about anything on like, oh yeah, it's today's voting, or here's the like, I don't know anything about anything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I never know.
And that's to some extent that's embarrassing to admit, but
I think a lot of people, if they're being honest with themselves, they probably.
Well, I think that's the hypocrisy of it, is everyone suddenly cares about X whenever it's like that's the important thing on like social media or news or whatever like that. But
Chemical X is dangerous.
Chemical X is the worst thing you can possibly have.
Well,
short of double X. Triple X, you start getting kind of fun again.
Wait, what?
I don't know where I was going with that.
Chemical X like made the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
But that was mixed with nice and everything
spices.
Spice or some shit.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with those ratios because you probably could make a mutant really quick.
So you're saying just pure X?
Pure Chemical X, if you drank that, you're either going to turn into like Bizarro Superman or die in a supernova.
That seems... Ooh. Worth it? Is it a 50-50 split?
Well, dude, being Bizarro Superman would suck.
Why?
I guess he's just named Bizarro, right?
Yeah, but why would it suck?
Because you got to do the like opposite everything, and then he's like not really smart, right?
Sure, but there's no Superman. So like,
well,
he'd be
that
the
we
only
know
Superman.
of. Maybe we're before Superman.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe they'll uncover our hieroglyphics way in the future and be like, "Holy crap! They knew Superman was coming the whole time."
That would. It's probably just. I mean, I guess he is an alien, so that makes sense.
Hopefully, it's Superman and not Omni-Man, because that would be rough.
Did you see all the stuff going on about the moon and how like before they set foot on the moon, they're talking about like, look how many spaceships are here, and they're just sitting here watching us and all that other stuff. Yeah,
is that real?
Funny. Yeah, it's like there's like 2 minutes of the tape from Neil Armstrong that was like cut, and because it's like, oh, the transmission overheated or something, and it, I don't know. That's where I'm at in my YouTube algorithms.
You are quickly becoming conspiracy theorist.
Oh, buddy, I'm there.
That is no bueno.
Ancient aliens, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You think the pyramids were built by aliens?
I think there was some help.
Get the fuck out of here, man. No way. No way.
There are two
schools of thought.
No, it's like it's like a scale where you have people saying like, here. Okay, so you have the conspiracy theory of like the song "Call Me Maybe." You know that one?
Yeah.
So there's this dude saying how that's basically predicting the Antichrist. So you have that level of conspiracy theory.
Wow.
And then you have other ones where it's like, hey, look at where all these pyramids are, and look at how they're laid out. And if you take this and you map it to so and so and so, it like lines up perfectly. That's the kind of stuff I like. Yeah. Is where it's like, okay, well, explain it. Explain how these like dumb, primitive Neanderthal, like what obviously I'm not calling them. I'm not calling them that. I'm just saying like, tell me about these like super, super, super early humans and how they're like able to build things that we can't build anymore. Like
we could build pyramids.
Can we? We can't lift any of that stuff.
They use like pulleys and shit.
That's what I mean. But like we have like technology and nothing is like strong enough to like move that stuff.
What are you talking about?
Aren't those blocks like so big that none of our machines could actually do anything with it? Like we would have to use like the force that they exerted with humans.
I'm sure we could do it.
Couple Ford Broncos. Just
dude, we have like, dude, you ever seen those like really big dump trucks?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like I don't think
we have the capability of building huge things. They would say, how the fuck did they would look at like New York City and be like, this is impossible.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. I don't know.
Because they built all that shit like back in the day. So it's like, that's crazy.
If you took a pyramid and you took a that's actually stupid because a skyscraper is how tall are pyramids? Do we know?
Tall.
Yeah.
Not as tall as skyscrapers, I don't think.
Yeah. I was gonna say like what weighs more?
What weighs more? The pyramid, probably.
You think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it's like straight blocks. Whereas like the skyscraper's like a lot of,
like aluminum, tinfoil.
Exactly. No, there's like a lot of space in it is what I'm saying. So it's like,
yeah.
Because you need people to work in there.
Yeah. You need people to do their damn jobs.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Oh, man. We're all over the place today, but it's
I think
fun.
it's enlightening and necessary.
You got to blow off steam at the end of the week. It's a happy 4th of July, by the way. It's today, as people are listening to this. It's 4th of July.
America.
I
hope you have a burger.
Yeah.
With cheese.
Really? With cheese, huh? American cheese? It has to be American cheese.
Has to be American cheese. But I say that on every day. Because I think American cheese is the best cheese on a burger.
Yes.
I had a burger today.
Okay.
Called the Pittsburgher. So they sell it at Kelly's next to my house, like a diner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a diner. And
where you dine at? Yeah.
That was
hardly
that was like Norm Macdonald right there. So like a diner, like a diner. This always does that. Anyway, so at Kelly's they have a Pittsburgher, and it's like a burger with cheese, and then they got a pierogi on it, like kibasi.
Yeah, right.
So good, like onions and stuff.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Don't they have a Pittsburgher at like Permane Brothers and stuff?
Yeah, but isn't that different?
It is.
That
That's
has
why
like coleslaw
I'm surprised
on it
they can just put like, hey, it's Pittsburgher.
Why? They don't trademark it.
I don't know why I put a kind of borderline New York accent on it.
It's a Pittsburgher.
Hey.
Yeah, they do have one at Permane's now that you mention it.
Yeah. I've been working on... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Number 2 bestseller, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah. What's the first one?
Alcohol.
Beer.
Is the answer.
Yeah.
If you're a noob in Pittsburgh,
yep,
you'll ask that question.
Yeah. And like, I feel that it was fun for like a new waitress to be like, oh, I could say it. I assume people that have worked there for a while are just like, oh my goodness, why? Well, this is so stupid. Anyway,
You're probably right.
I'm just so jaded by everything. Speaking of accents, I've been playing around with accents that we're going to use in our D&D campaign. And I'm trying to skate the line between what can I stay in character with.
That's important.
Because I don't want it to be so outlandish that I'll feel self-conscious or I can't keep it up or it shifts.
Right.
It's very tough.
Yeah, you got to get something you're comfortable with. Yep. That's why I never do an accent, because I'm just really bad at it. I think accents are like a large majority of it is confidence.
Yes.
Kind of like speaking a language. Like, I think a lot of people are better than they give themselves credit for, but they're not confident enough to commit. Mm-hmm. And that's when you like are not good. It's like driving.
And it doesn't help too that if you slip up, people will call you out on it real quick and stuff. Yeah.
And it makes it worse and it snowballs. So like when you're driving, if you're not confident, you don't go right away, and then you're like stuck in between, and then people are beeping at you. It's the same thing. It just goes down quick.
Yeah.
I think it's the same kind of concept with accents. So I avoid that, and I take the bus. I'm just kidding. But
leave the new car at home.
Yeah. I'm actually super terrified that someone's going to steal my car.
I assume that's all alarmed up and whatnot.
They have devices specifically for these cars that read your key fob,
right,
and they can just open your car and start it.
Let me introduce you to a man, of course, a man-made invention, but a man-made invention called the Club.
The Club.
Is that too old for you? Do you know?
No, I know what the Club is.
The Club.
So you used to, it was red, and you attach it to the steering wheel. I know this very well because my dad had one, and then every time we went on a trip, it was in the back seat, so I pretended it was a gun.
Yeah.
And I was like shooting at people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I would
did the
have
same
it,
thing?
and I was in my dad's station wagon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be like I'd be facing out the back window, just murdering people. Like,
and it was sweet because it had like the little thing on it in the middle.
Yep.
That like little horseshoe, and you could do it one way as like a light machine gun, and then do it like the other way as like a assault rifle or something.
A little bazooka action going in.
Do it sideways, be like a little handle. So there was like a lot of variety.
The one time my dad didn't put that on his steering wheel, car stolen.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. We used to go to New York all the time because that's where my grandparents are from on my dad's side. And it got to the point where like my uncle who lived in Manhattan would just leave his car windows like unlocked and everything and just have nothing in there. Like every time you put a radio in there, stolen. Like you know what I mean? So it's like eventually there was nothing in there and he would just leave it open all the time.
My brother-in-law was like, look, there's nothing in this car that is worth more than like my window. So I don't want people like breaking in my like, busting my window.
That's the same thing. Yeah.
So he just doesn't care. He leaves it unlocked.
All the windows down.
Yeah.
So you can clearly see there's nothing in there.
Yep.
This old piece of shit car. It's just not worth it.
Not worth your time.
That's
maybe like a little note on the dashboard, like, "Hey man, you can check it, but like I don't know what you expect." Yeah.
Nothing in here. Yeah.
That's some Sea of Thieves stuff where it's like, "Hey, look, you can come aboard. I got nothing. I got this one ruby gem. You can have it if you want."
We've been playing some Sea of Thieves. We played once.
I was gonna say it's up on the site. So I did go back through YouTube. It was good feedback from some people that it's like, hey, maybe keep up with your YouTube page. So I decided that now all my streams that I do for the Wolven Play stuff, that's getting uploaded to our Couch Company page, and all the podcast stuff is going up there now too.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch John take command of our ship for a couple hours,
I might be the greatest captain ever to sail. And I'm not even memeing at this point. Like at first I was like, okay, this is going to be a meme.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to get us killed, and not like try to get us killed, but like, I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly, if you watch it. But we just started winning fight after fight.
It was stupid.
Oh yeah. Like nothing you say could explain to me how improbable what we did was.
Yeah.
So it like means nothing to me, but I just knew that you guys, you and John, who play the game regularly, were like, dude, what is happening?
It was one of those like kind of just give in. And I the only thing I regret is it wasn't you streaming it, because I think your perspective would have been golden, right? But to catch people up, like it's almost like you jump into a new Call of Duty map. And you're new, so everyone has like a rotation on the map that like people know all the different secrets and things like that. And a new person disrupts that flow to such an extent that you're constant, like veteran players actually get murdered because they're not expecting a person to be like going counterclockwise and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So with Sea of Thieves, and like we were playing against pirate legends, like we were actually playing against people that had like the top gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that they were just not expecting us to be the most, for lack of a better term, Jack Sparrow.
It was
just insane people where it's like, all right, hey, we're going to anchor our ship right here. And I'm like, why? What are you doing? And I hesitated, and you're just like, drop the anchor. It's like, all right, we're doing it. Let's drop the anchor. We're so far from there. We shoot over. And it's like they leave all their treasure just in the water to come attack our ship. And we're just we're just stealing their stuff.
I know.
And it's just like, okay, well, our ship's getting blown to smithereens, but like, who cares? We had nothing. We took all their stuff, turned that stuff in, and then we're like, you sunk them.
Yeah.
You 3-manned a galleon and sunk their ship as I'm on the island just taking all of their treasure and just burying the treasure. Man, what a wacky... It's a good stream. It's very funny, but it was unbelievable. Bizarre.
Your little nephew was like, "What is happening?"
I texted him and I was like, "Hey man, thanks for goofing off with us. Like, we'll get you some gold next time." But like, we got gold. That's the thing. Is like was it as much gold as if we dedicated? Maybe not, but it wasn't like we went home empty-handed. We got some stuff. But he thought it was funny according to his text message. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty goofy. You think I'm goofy during these things? I have like an Apple addiction. It's all about the lore to me. So if you watch the stream, I come up with like anecdotes for like every situation.
Yeah.
And characters. And we're building a lore of the Couch Company pirate team.
And I dig that. Like, for instance, I don't think anybody's ever sat in the captain's chair.
Yeah, that was the thumbnail.
You just walk over and you sit down in the captain. All right, guys, gather around. It's like, oh my gosh, that's perfect.
How can you sit in the captain's chair and go over the plan without closing the fucking door? You can't even close the door, dude. I was like,
rare
close
if you're
the door.
listening. Add the door closed.
And you're like, we can't do that, Captain. I'm like, what?
John runs over. I'll just stand here. Yeah. I'll block the doorway.
Yeah. No, it was cool. I went all in on that.
That was good.
It was fun. We'll have to do that again.
Yeah, that made me like, okay, we can just commit to this. And it's like, just wherever the ships fall, that's fine. Like, if we sink, but like, we're going hard on it. It's so stupid.
So bad.
And the funny bit is, like, the people that we were playing against are like going hard at it.
Yeah.
Like, they're being like very like trash talking dudes. We're just this goofy ragtag group that somehow beats them. I don't know.
It was amazing. It was like the Miracle on Ice. Like, we had no business winning.
Oh man. Have you been playing anything else? Or is it just
no, I haven't really been playing much recently. I gotta get back to Guardians. That game is so much fun, but I haven't been playing it.
That seems easy enough to jump back into too. I don't think there's so many mechanics that you can't.
No, that game's great. I really like that game. How about you? What are you playing?
So I did say at the beginning, I'm like, I really want to talk about Neon White.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Neon White.
Yeah.
It's anime.
Oh.
So, and if you don't think it's anime, guess who the voice actor is for the main character?
Saitama?
Steve Bloom.
Oh, Steve Bloom.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah. So
That's
you get some Cowboy Bebop feels, and it's very, very good. So the anime story part of it is you died.
Okay.
You and a group of people died. And once a year, heaven is overrun by demons.
Of course.
Okay. And they're like, all right, we're going to bring up what we call neons. And you're just going to go through this gauntlet, kill all the demons. And if you survive and you do it in the fastest amount of time and kill the most demons, you get to stay in heaven. And then everyone else just goes back to hell.
Interesting.
So it's like this competition of like, okay, I want my place in heaven. The catch is, even if you win, you're just there for a year, and then you have to compete again and hopefully, win. So it's this weird thing of you're going through, and I'll get to the gameplay in a second, but you're going through like the different levels, trying to compete for high score and getting different things. And you're trying to piece together, because you have amnesia, of course, as animes go. And you're trying to piece together, like, okay, who are all these different characters? And they're all wearing masks, right? So like you're called Neon White because you're white, and or wearing white, I should say. I guess he is white too, but anyway. And then you have like Neon Yellow because he's wearing yellow, and Violet and red and stuff. And everyone has their own personalities. Super horny game. Like, everyone's flirting and doing all their things.
Makes sense.
And they bring in the Hades aspect, where as you're going through these levels, you go through the levels, you go through them as fast as you can and do what the level wants you to do. But then you can also replay the levels and find like hidden gifts in a level. So you go back, you get the gift, give it to a person, and it's like Hades, where you keep leveling up that person, do their side missions, and either, I assume, romance them eventually or whatever. But it's essentially 10 days, and each day is broken up into 10 missions or 10 stages. The whole point of this game is to speedrun. Now, I don't think you're super into speedrunning. I'm not into speedrunning. But this game does such a great job making you feel like you're a speedrunner and like you're good with it.
Yeah.
And so you're flying through this level. You go through it as fast as you can, and you're picking up cards. And so like you can pick up a pistol card. It's a yellow card. And if you shoot the pistol, you have a certain amount of ammo, and you run out of ammo, the card is thrown away. So you're running through and you're shooting demons with it. But if you discard the card before it runs out of ammo, you get a parkour ability. and I'm sure your eyes are going to start glazing over, but
we're in here.
So if you're running, and I'm trying to explain this in the best way possible, let's say you have to run from point A to point B. There's 3 demons and a... Sorry, go ahead.
It's all like fluid, like it's like you're running the whole time. Like is it a rail kind of thing? Like
no.
Okay.
No. So you have to pick your lane. Yeah. And that's the whole point is you're going to go through the course in the way that makes the most sense from a platforming standpoint.
Sure.
And that will get you maybe a bronze or a silver medal. Mm-hmm. And it will unlock like, hey, we'll give you a hint. Or, hey, we'll give you, you can see your ghost and how fast your best time is. Mm. And then to get gold and then eventually ace, you're really going to have to go off the beaten path and figure out creative ways of using your abilities to do stuff. So if you have a pistol, that's either a pistol, which is like your single shot normal pistol, or you discard it and you could do a jump. And you can stack up to 3 of each gun and up to 2 guns. So you can have 3 pistols and 3 machine guns in your arsenal, so to speak. So technically you could do 3, like a triple jump. So you kind of have to like plan like, okay, do I want to stack these and try to triple jump my way past like 6 guys? The only catch is you have to kill all the demons in the level to end the level. So there's some kind of guidelines around it. It's such a unique experience. It's hard to describe, but when you're in the zone and you're flying through it, like I was playing the same level, which I don't know how well that plays on stream, and people were like, "You didn't say a word." I'm like, "I was concentrating. I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah.
But you get into this rhythm where it's like, I can shave a 1/10 of a second off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was joking that that's my Elden Ring, and I think the main difference between that and Elden Ring is if I am trying to hit like a certain jump at a certain time or a certain speed, or I'm like, oh, I could shave off like half a second here and a second here or whatever. As you're figuring that stuff out, if you hit F on your keyboard, it just resets the level. So it's this instant like, I'm going to try this. It didn't work. All right, reset, try this. And it's this super, super fast like instant reset that doesn't penalize you. And I think that is one of the main reasons why like Elden Ring, like, it's the same concept of I'm beating my head against this wall trying to get better and complete this in a certain way. And the instant kind of reset is really what takes off for me. But
yeah, I know we've talked about that before. Like It Takes Two, for example, where it throws you right back in, right? Yep. That's super important to what you like, at least. I understand that people kind of like dying and they have to wait because that adds to the like gravity of the situation. Like, oh my God, if I'm dying, I'm gonna have to wait again for the loading screen or whatever. So I can understand both sides of it. I'm more inclined to agree with you where I want to jump right back in. But
it's apples and oranges, right? Like, this is a time trial thing. I get that.
I think games that can do this phenomenon, that they make you feel like you're better at the game than you really are.
Yeah.
It's like a really challenging thing to do, but when it's pulled off well, it's fantastic. So one of the games I personally think of when I think of this is like Rocket League. Like, you could be a novice at Rocket League and play around with it enough where you can get some sick goals, whether you mean to or not or whatever. Like, and you feel like, oh, dude, like I'm so good at this. Like it feels great when you pull off like your first aerial or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think it takes a little bit of time in Rocket League, but I think it's kind of the same aspect. Because I remember when I was really into Rocket League, and I was getting better and better. I felt like I was a pro, pulling off some of these shots. But then you look at the actual pros, you're like, I'm not even close. But that's the feeling you get. You're like in your bubble. You feel like you're so good at what you're doing, and that's a really cool thing when games can pull that off.
The only thing that makes me sad is I'm obviously the only one of our friend group that's playing this. So when you're looking at the leaderboards, it's just me. I'm just playing against myself.
Yeah.
Now I did just realize that like the ace time is like, okay, here's your best time. You aced it. Congratulations. Like you got to the highest level, and I went back and you do your gift. So it could be one of those things like, okay, normally I'd use my double jump here, but I'm actually going to save it and use it later on in the level, because when you get a gift, it just resets the level. Yeah. So it's like using it out of order, and that's fun to do. But then I found that there's a developer time. So there's another level beyond ace that's like, oh, this is like super crazy. I think I've only gotten like 2 of those. But that took me like an hour to do, where I'm just like, it's a matter of seconds. It's like 2 seconds to shave off. But this thing is like, you find, oh, if I shoot, because like one of there's like a submachine gun or something that if you discard it, it shoots like a little like grenade, and then you can use that to like almost like rocket jump through a gap.
Yeah.
But you find, oh, what you can actually do is if you use your katana and slice that grenade, even though it only takes a second to explode, you can do it faster and it shoots you farther. So whenever you start realizing this later on in the levels, because they slowly kind of show you this stuff, you're like, oh no, I could totally use this to do X, Y, Z and make it faster. It's so cool. It's really, I'm only on day 3. So I put about 6 hours into it. Maybe like 6.5. I'm only on day 3, which means I've done 30 boards out of I think there's like 125 or something like that. So it's like, obviously I'm not continuing on until I ace it. I'm not going to do the developer thing. That's insane.
Right.
But man, it's so cool. It is super, super fun. And they do such a great job forcing you, because they might say like, hey, use this to dash, there's like a sniper rifle, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very powerful one shot, or you discard it and you can like dash in a straight line.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, this can also kill enemies. And the first maybe 3 boards you use it, you don't actually kill any enemies, and you forget that. And then the 5th board, they set up the level in such a way that like you have to use it to kill an enemy, and then it clicks and you're like, oh, I don't have to like touch the ground. Because when you kill an enemy, you get another version of it. So it goes from I'm shooting guys one at a time and slowly making my way through a level in the course of 60 seconds to I'm just jamming on the right click that's discarding cards, and I'm zipping between dudes, and I end it in like 15 seconds. It's so cool. It's so neat.
Yeah, that's another thing that, just the way they progress you throughout the game, where you naturally are figuring things out. I know in our like Portal playthrough, for example, when you get the behind the scenes of like the intentional aspects of, hey, players don't look up and shit like that. And here's what we do to, you know what I mean? Yeah. So how do we get players to start thinking in this way that they can use these abilities in a certain way, right? So that's always cool too. It's
so good. And I guess the last thing I'll say is like, as you're giving gifts to these different characters and learning more about them, it's like you give a gift, they give you a dialogue. You give another gift, and now it's a side quest, right?
Okay.
And the side quest, every character has a different set of roles. So like the one Neon Violet, think Tiny Tina. She's just a psychopath that like loves like guts and gore and just insane.
Of course.
And her levels are these like very meticulously designed, like just like death traps where like if you jump slightly off, you just get hit by like a spike and stuff. And like some of it's kind of funny where like if you mess up one thing, you're like, oh, because like you're just dead.
Yeah.
It's very funny, and it's crazy how those rules really play with their personalities.
Right.
It's such a well-made thing.
That really is cool. Really it sounds like there's like a lot of thought, and
I love it.
Behind that,
I'm into the story even. Like I'm like, I kind of want to see how this goes, because like the whole thing is like Neon Green is the current like reigning champion of heaven, so I assume at some point I'm going to be going up against that guy.
This is like giving me like huge Pyre vibes.
It's very yeah.
You know what I mean? Like see that. You're competing to like get to heaven or back to earth,
and you have all the angels like just berating you the whole time, and just being
like, hate you. Yeah, that's
right.
Sweet.
That's
cool.
Good.
Yeah, man, dude. It just seems like these games that are like really creative in that aspect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Is this an indie game? I'm assuming, or
yeah. I should have looked up the developer.
Smaller
I'm not
studio.
sure. Yeah,
it's just like I don't know. Like part of that is this kind of actually funny enough goes back to our Disney conversation, where it's like sometimes when you have less, it forces you to do more, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have like these Marvel movies with these enormous, unlimited blank check budgets, you can get lazy, quote unquote, with a lot of the CGI and like, oh, look at this and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then maybe the story lacks, where like you need the foundation, right? just because it has a big budget doesn't mean it's going to be good, obviously. So sometimes when you're backed into a corner, you're like, oh, we can't do these fancy things. We have to be really creative with how we're telling a story or what the gameplay is. Makes it way better.
And
sometimes
I guess the other game that I was kind of going back and forth on was like Sniper Elite 5, and like it's good.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, I was watching you play a little bit of that. It seems like the other ones.
Yeah. And Neon White is just freaking unique and really, really fun.
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm working and I'm just like, I could probably jump this way. I could do this. It's just like, you know, like it's like I'm constantly thinking about like excited to go back to that. Very similar to how it was with Hades, where I'm like, I could do one run. I could really like, I feel good. Like today's the day, right? Like I'm getting out of hell. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Hades was definitely like during the workday. I'm like, I can't wait. Cause it was like work's done.
Mm-hmm.
Computers booted up. We're playing Hades.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's been a while since I've had a game. Like the best games are the games where it keeps you up at night and you're thinking like, oh man, like what does that mean? Or how am I going to beat this level? And blah, blah, blah.
And it's pure, and I know I harp on gameplay all the time, but it's for Neon, like there's some story there and it's actually like, again, I'm interested in it. It's not like I'm fast forwarding or anything.
Right.
All voice acted, which is awesome.
That's great.
Except some of the cutscenes, they do the anime of just like, huh? Like, you know, like
that's always,
but all the main storyline is all voice acted.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's funny. Like, and the gameplay is just so good. It feels really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I again, not to be like, hey, you should. I mean, you should. I think you should try it.
Is it on Game Pass?
It isn't. It isn't. If it was on Game Pass, that would be a no. Like, it makes me sad it's not on Game Pass because then at least I would have other people on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Is like that competition.
How much is it?
I want to like $20, maybe 25, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think I have some Steam bucks.
It's on sale. It's 10%
well,
off.
We're supposed to
sale.
try out that one game.
Orcs Must Die 3.
SWAT game.
Oh, right. It's Ready or Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks cool, but we played a game like very similar to that.
I thought that was the game you guys played.
It's pretty much the same thing, but apparently it has better mechanics, or so I'm told. It's interesting, and I think like, so pretty much for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's like a SWAT. You're like a SWAT team, and kind of like, you know, Counter-Strike, I guess, but it's not. You're just not killing people. It's like, you know, you're arresting people, and you can only shoot when they shoot at you first, and things like that. The cool thing about this game is because like you have like a role, and there's different ways you can strategically go about the different missions or whatever. So you could be like the riot shield guy in front, or you could like rappel through windows or whatever, however you want to attack the building. So I think that's a cool aspect because like you get a specific job, and then
I asked Nate what the like why is this different than like a Rainbow Six?
Because Rainbow Six is like just versus like you're just trying to kill each other.
Yeah, but can you go against terrorists?
I think what he was saying was right now it's just the PvE or whatever.
Yeah, like, but I mean, like Rainbow Six, doesn't Rainbow Six have like the terrorist mode where you're not playing against like it's not like
but
PvP,
you're still you're just killing them.
So I got you. I understand what you're saying.
Like in this, it's like there's civilians that you gotta help. There's like bad guys that can surrender, and like if you kill them and they didn't shoot at you or pose a threat, then like you lose points or whatever. And
I mean, hey, I told him like
you got 2 hours.
You got 2 hours. Like I feel that most games you can make your case in 2 hours. I can't
for sure
imagine. I'm actually struggling to think of a game that I haven't been either like absolutely enamored with within 2 hours, or I'm just like, no, I'm never playing this again.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a game out there where it's like, okay, you just got to get to the halfway point and then it's amazing. But
yeah, people talk about those, but like
I can't think of one. I'm usually like in or out like quickly.
Well, at least you understand like, oh, there's something here. Like it's like, oh, okay, like I could see where this would pick up or take off or whatever. Like, I think Persona is a good example of that, where it might be a little slow to start, but like once you get into the swing of it or something. But
that's a good point actually. Like like exposition dump, and then
it's a lot of talking.
When you get in the rhythm of it, you're like, okay, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, if you want to check it out, I did stream it. It is on our YouTube page now, so you can watch me play the same level.
I have to watch you play it now. I'm curious to see. I was looking it up on my phone a little bit to see what it looked like. It looks interesting. Art style is pretty cool.
It reminds me almost of Mirror's Edge in a weird way.
They
do a good job with like
continuous
color and
motion.
It's very clear to see what you need to do and when.
Yeah,
and the information presented on the screen is just great.
Mirror's Edge was like pretty cool, actually.
It's ahead of its time, and I feel bad because everyone clamored for like a new one. They're like, "Hey, do 2," and like 2 came out, and it was like pretty good. It performs the same as the first one. It's a very specific group that you're catering to.
Yeah, kind of same vibe though, where you feel like a speedrunner, but
whenever you do it, like I think. Yeah, like when you can get from point A to point B smoothly, cleanly, like it feels good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing it on the fly, like a new level, and it's all starting to click. So you're just like doing things and not having to go back and do it. You know what I mean? Like and first try.
Even whenever you're just like when it clicks and it dawns on you because you're so like you just keep doing it the same way over and over and over, and you're like, oh, I don't actually have like the one level, and I won't go too hard on this, but like the one level, it's like, okay, this level is very much discard card, and it's just like discard as you're parkouring throughout the level.
Yeah.
And I kept getting to this one point, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? But it's like, oh, you dumb idiot. Like, it's almost like toying with you where it's like, yeah, we made you discard like 10 cards in a row, but this one you don't discard. And then it's like, oh, you son of a gun.
Switch it up. There you go.
And then you find out you don't even have to go that path. You could, it's completely different, but it's very, very fun to discover it where it's like, all right, first round, you take it slow. You do it in like, 30 seconds over par, whatever.
Yeah, right.
See what the layout is, see what you can cut out and stuff. And then the next one, you go for it and see. Maybe you get gold. When you get gold, you unlock the like hint of, hey, maybe there's a secret path if you do it this way.
Have you ever like found the secret path?
Oh yeah,
first time.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
That must feel really good.
Yeah, I think once you start understanding, like, oh, okay, if they're making you go through a bunch of weird obstacles and you don't see a lot of demons in there, I'm like, I bet you can skip all of this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the only thing to do is you have to get from point A to the end warp gate at point B. And you have to make sure you kill all demons.
Right.
So
that
however you do that, you do it. Yeah.
Right.
Like if you want to snipe half the demons across the map, which you can do, it's completely valid. You can do it.
Sweet. I'm glad you like it, man. That's awesome.
I love it. And it's one of those things that I don't like card games.
Nope.
So just a screenshot, you always see a card. I'm like, nah, that's not for me. And I don't like speed running. So
you're an enigma, man.
I mean, it says something when you can put something like that together, and it works and it's fun and it makes you feel good. But
whenever you get excited about something, I get excited.
Yeah,
because it's so rare.
Look, man, it has the anime bit. Like if you're into that,
true. I'll take a look. I'll watch your streams.
Yeah,
I mean, you can just
see me like mouth open, eyes squinted,
I love it.
Trying to fly through a level.
Well. With that being said, we do have some polls.
Naturally.
Third base.
Yeah,
a little who's on first joke there.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
There you go. We got there.
I don't know why I was going to a sexual thing immediately.
Oh, well, because I said it. So probably.
That could be it.
Probably good. So we have 3 polls.
As we typically do,
It was a little bit in a different order this week, though, because the first poll we were doing during our last week's episode, when we were debating about who's stronger, Hercules or Spider-Man, the audience mistakenly selected Spider-Man, which is absurd.
So this is what you feel like a lot, right? Where like the audience sides with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is you're wrong. Like this is wrong. This is literally wrong.
I love that Spider-Man won this.
Yeah, no, it's wrong. Like, I'm sorry. Like, usually it's a democracy when it comes to the couch polls, but this is just literally factually incorrect.
How badly? Like, what was the percentages?
67 to 33.
Okay, they closed a little bit. When I looked at it, I thought it was like
bad.
80% Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so good.
No, it's not awesome. That's messed up.
The real question is how many people thought, maybe, but whatever. Maybe, hey. How many people thought of the Disney Hercules?
Maybe.
That was probably
that might be it.
He's a little weakling.
No, but definitely not as strong as probably the mythology.
Probably not.
Definitely not.
I mean,
dude, Hercules was like OP, dude. Like, there's just
Spider-Man's
no way.
OP. Spider-Man stopped the
Spider-Man's
train.
not a god.
Yeah, he's god-like.
No.
He fought a god.
Who?
Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos is god adjacent.
Nah.
You don't think?
No.
Just a beefy boy?
A little bit. Because what's his race? They're like the...
Krell?
No.
Okay.
They're like the ugly ones.
The Krillin?
Maybe. Isn't there like a race? It's like there's this one race that are like angel things, and then these are like the opposite aspects of it, and they're all like deformed and stuff. That's why he has a weird chin.
Does it have anything to do with Gotham City?
What do you mean?
Exactly.
I see.
If it doesn't have to do with Gotham City or that universe.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Your guess is good
Gotham
as mine.
City.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite fictional city? We should do top 5 fictional cities.
My favorite fictional city would probably be Naboo.
It's a planet.
What's the city?
Naboo.
No. Theed.
Capital.
Theed. Yeah. I was like, that's not right. Yeah,
it's like Theed. New York, right?
My favorite fictional city is the Theed.
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 Really?
Yeah.
Just high society.
Just swanky.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gotham kind of sucks, but it's cool.
Gotham's terrible.
It's cool, though. It's like, I don't know.
Gotham's cool if you...
It gives us like some of the greatest characters ever made.
Yeah.
That is something to be said about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you I watched Harley Quinn again, right?
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Funny show.
It's so good.
Anyway. Not as good as Justice League, but it's good.
Yeah.
Hey, like you're just wrong. You're just like the poll, you're
right.
wrong.
You're probably right.
I am definitely right.
Thank you, everyone, for voting Spider-Man.
Whatever. A little salty about that. All right, next up, we recently played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge.
We didn't talk about our problem with that game.
I thought we did.
Did we?
I can't remember.
So we played arcade.
Yep.
And I apologize if we talked about this last time, but we played arcade. We got fairly far in. I would say 2 hours in. Like we were getting close to the end. I think we had like 6 missions left or something like that.
Yeah.
And it freezes on one of the boss battles. I don't even remember which boss it was. And we just couldn't do anything. And because we were playing arcade, doesn't save your progress. And we just threw 2 hours away.
Yeah, it was not good.
It felt bad.
It felt very bad. I don't think like people weren't reporting like major issues with it, so I think we got extremely unlucky.
That's just crazy.
Just has to your statistic, man. It has to happen to someone. You know what I mean?
Yes, I just like
it was a fun game. I actually really enjoyed it.
I want to finish it. I think we need to put that as a playthrough on the
stream,
YouTube channel. Yeah,
we'll do the story mode though. So if that happens, you can go back to the level. Yeah,
sure. Yep.
Anyways, between the 4 Ninja Turtles, Leonardo was the victor.
Oh, he pulled it out, huh?
He pulled it out.
Interesting.
So I guess that's not surprising. I think he was always the most popular, if I remember correctly.
I would have guessed Michelangelo.
Yeah, I mean those two. I mean he was in second place, but
it's just fun.
Yeah, he's the fun guy, but Leonardo is kind of like the leader, I think.
Yeah,
and so naturally people are gonna gravitate to him.
He's more. Like the main.
Like Captain America is the like most popular Marvel guy.
You think?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Yep.
Over Iron Man.
I think over Iron Man. Yeah.
I think,
especially after Civil War. Especially after Civil War, because everyone sided with Cap. Like 100%.
Yeah, but Iron Man saved the universe.
I understand. I think Iron Man's a better character, but I think it would surprise you. I think Captain America is more popular.
Okay, well, I mean that's bull right there.
There we go. All right, round 2.
Can't wait for you to be wrong there. But now it's important that you phrase it correctly.
Who's better?
Well, either who's better, who's more popular. you gotta pick your. I think Iron Man just cleans.
Well, how
house.
do you want me to phrase this? I'll let you phrase it.
I mean, you could say who's the best Avenger.
Because then we start getting the power level.
Yeah.
I just want who's better. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Yeah, just say who's your favorite.
Who's your favorite?
It's got to be Iron Man. There's no way.
Who's your favorite? Well, our sample size is much smaller than the entire audience.
You'd be surprised, man. Once you start
Captain
putting it out there.
America or Iron Man. Is this going to become a tradition?
We just come up with a poll on the spot
every time
whenever we disagree on something.
So 7 days, right? That'll put us.
Sure.
I'll do 6 days, and because I want to do it like at 5:00. So help me out here. 6 days and what, like 12 hours?
Yeah, that's fine.
Doing math.
We're gonna have to do some crafty pre-recording next week because I'm gonna be gone for.
Oh, don't do it to me, man.
We're gonna have to talk. We'll discuss it kind of off air, but going on the honeymoon on the 15th.
Skip it.
I can't skip it. We put our tickets in.
Okay.
Also,
I'll meet you down there.
I love my wife, and I want to.
That's
go away with her for the first time ever.
Decent argument.
Yeah, I don't think I looked up a lot of stuff with lightsabers. Not getting a lightsaber.
No,
from,
they're scam,
from Disney.
dude.
Yeah, that's insane.
Scam.
It's insane.
All right, the poll is up. So if you're listening to this, check out our poll on Twitter out at Couchco Games.
Yeah,
Twitter.com.
I like Donatello, but good for Leonardo.
My favorite's Raphael. He kind of got done dirty there, came in last place, but whatever.
I like the bow staff.
Bow staff's cool. I just like Raphael. He's like the bad boy.
Yeah.
Kind of mad. Red is a great color.
Sure. Purple's good too.
Purple's good, but he's like a nerd though, which is like
Donatello.
It's kind of like a little brainy, which is good, but like I'd rather someone be like hot sauce. You know what I mean? Just get mad.
I think
beat people up.
I think it's the difference in personalities of like Donatello. I feel is more pacifist, where it's like, yeah, I got a staff. I'll smack you with a staff if I need to.
He's like Nightwing. I feel like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Or any good superhero that doesn't kill anyone, but yeah,
I just get Nightwing vibes.
I could see that. Well, I mean, it would be more Robin at that point.
Maybe Robin, yeah.
Okay. But anyway,
which Robin?
Probably Tim.
That should be a poll.
Drake?
That should be a poll.
Best Robin.
I
don't want to do it because if Dick Grayson doesn't win that, I get
shut down.
I will get like.
Dude, Dick Grayson would totally win, man. Who's not going to vote for that guy?
I don't trust it.
We don't have a big enough sample
size. We just said Spider-Man wins against Hercules.
It's true. But that, in my opinion, that's even more blasphemous.
I guess.
Because even though Hercules is definitively stronger than Spider-Man,
yeah,
Dick Grayson is even more definitively the best Robin. Like that's just a fact. That's just factual.
I think the thing that I just don't want to subject myself to, and this is probably terrible to say, is like I don't want people explaining their rationale on why Dick Grayson isn't the best Robin. Because I would love
to hear that.
I would get so angry.
What bullshit are you coming up with to like?
I would get so angry. Yeah,
actually, Damian Wayne is the best Robin.
Tell me why episode 8 is so good.
Yeah. True.
Anyway.
If you're talking about the research department, I'm pretty sure he loves Dick Grayson, so I don't think we have to worry about that.
I wasn't, but okay, good.
It could have been misconstrued, so because I know that we literally got a message from the research department defending episode 8. So,
no. Well, for that I was, but no, I was talking about Robin specifically. Is like there are definitely
Nightwing's the best,
comments.
dude. So it's like, dude, it goes. In my opinion, it goes Dick Grayson. I'm pretty sure we've said this like 8 times.
Probably
Dick Grayson, and then Jason Todd is my second favorite personally because I really like Red Hood.
Sure,
and then the other guy, Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
Is that his name?
And
then Damien.
Damien. There's also Kelly. I forget her last name, which I don't think is canon, but that was from Frank Miller's Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, right. If she counts, she goes above Damien. Damien's one of my least favorite characters.
I'd probably put her.
Damien
I might actually put her second.
A whiny brat.
She's nuts. Like who? It's like, hey, there's this old like beat up dude, and it's like, hey, I'm just gonna throw you in harm's way. That's cool, right? All right, let's go murder some thugs. I don't know. Anyway, what's the last poll?
Last poll. So we've been doing our versus armies.
Yeah,
the Zerg this week defending champs against the Empire.
Yeah.
Went up against the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
And lost.
Okay, the Zerg lost.
Zerg lost.
I was waiting for people to be like, "Yeah, Zerg wins." Okay.
Well, they might Zerg rush him.
Good.
I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Green Lantern Corps. Like, can't they just contain them? And
Probably
throw them into a sun.
Probably. Well, maybe.
Didn't they do something?
I think
with
there's
the sun?
I think there's a lot of Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
So it's like they have numbers, and then every Green Lantern is like really strong. So it's like the average unit of a Green Lantern member versus the average unit of a Zergling.
Yeah.
It's very one-sided.
I feel like
one Green Lantern could take out like a lot of Zerg.
If you destroy all the Zerg ships.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, though. Is
what can they do?
Are they good against ship combat? You know what I mean? Like these giant behemoths.
I don't know.
I think they'd be good against the swarm because they have a lot of containment, like you said, and stuff. But against the ships, like Green Lanterns don't really have ships, and
they don't need ships. They just fly.
I understand they fly, but what do they have? They don't. I feel like they don't have heavy weaponry.
They can literally create anything they want.
Yeah, but it's still like a light construct, right? It's not like you can create.
You could create a machine gun.
Yeah, that shoots light at things.
I feel like it's a little wishy-washy, but
yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
I
I thought it still had to be like light.
So you're pro Zerg?
You can't make like a nuke and then it has radiation and shit in it now, right? Like it's still the same aspect.
Does the Green Corps have to do with Gotham City?
At some point, yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a bad example.
It's a horrible example.
I don't know.
But speaking of which, Batman he gets a power ring at some point. He
does. Yeah. Only it's a white one. I think it's a white.
I thought it was green, but
I think it's white power ring.
What does that mean? Like his parents are dead, and then you get bestowed it.
Yikes!
Because all of them mean something. Like the red ones, like you're mad.
Yeah, we'll get to some color stuff here in a minute, but I don't know. The only reason why I think he's part of the green or the white corps is because I'm pretty sure that's one of the Arkham Asylum costumes.
I see.
Like Brightest Day Batman.
Yeah.
Or something.
Right. That was the comic, right?
I guess.
Darkest Night or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Green Lantern Corps is pretty OP, I would say. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who I'm going to put against them. This seems challenging. The power levels are...
I think you need to start getting funky with it, where it's like, all right, and I'm making this up, but it's like the Green Lantern Corps versus like Superman.
Yeah, I was thinking Superman, but I don't want to do DC, so I was thinking maybe, okay, who's like the strongest dude in Marvel?
Who is the strongest guy?
I don't know.
Is it like
Silver what about Silver Surfer? Yeah. He could probably wipe the floor.
3 Silver Surfers.
But then, I have a really good idea, so we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go like Galactus versus the Green Lantern Corps.
I feel like just sheer we'll see what
Galactus is like insanely OP though, like laughably.
They all are.
He like eats universes or something, doesn't he? Like eats planets or some shit.
Wouldn't Neo just win?
Neo?
Yeah.
From the Matrix?
Yeah.
We can put it up if you really want to.
Can't you just say like Neo beats the Zerg because he just vaporizes them or just turns them into nothing?
I don't.
I guess the thing would be like, is the Zerg real?
Oh, I
or is
see,
it all just construct and he just is like,
so
no,
we're getting
I'm above
very
this.
meta.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a fantastic question. Maybe I'll just do Saitama versus the Green Lantern Corps. And it's like what happens
there
now.
You go.
Yeah.
I mean, Saitama wins.
Until I see him
exactly
exert himself,
100%.
He will always win.
Yes,
every matchup.
He can't lose.
He can't lose.
Yeah,
he's literally written so he can't lose.
Oh, it's so good.
It is pretty fantastic.
So good. Anyway.
All right. There's the polls. Go vote on them at Couch Co Games. Twitter.
Yes.
We got a top 5.
We do. Last minute. I was just like, hey.
I was a little surprised by this, but maybe it ties into your trip to Star Wars World.
That's where it came from because I was researching.
Oh yeah. Okay, perfect.
I was like, this is kind of neat.
What are we ranking this week, Tyler?
This week we are going to be ranking the top 5 canonical, which is very important,
hugely important,
lightsaber colors.
Boom. Kaiba crystals.
That's the thing. That's what makes the colors.
That's what makes the colors.
Yeah.
Actually, aren't they like blank and then your power imbues?
Sorry. Yes. Okay. Nerd.
Come.
Yeah.
Is it in Gotham?
is it good?
No.
Maybe. Let me get my.
I think Batman has a lightsaber at some point. Probably. We could find a panel.
Batman can make a lightsaber.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he.
We can find a panel with Batman with a lightsaber. I'm sure in some comic somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a crossover somewhere.
Somewhere, exactly.
Cool. So, I mean, do we want to?
So we have a graphic that Tyler sent me, which is super cool.
Yep.
It looks like there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 different colors.
Yeah, it's a little. I want to say 12. We can argue one of the colors, and we'll get there.
I see.
I see. Technically, we could argue a couple other colors.
Yeah,
but we'll
use this as a guideline, though.
Yeah.
So obviously, a bunch of different colors. There's main colors that we only see in the movies, but they all mean different things.
Yeah,
so,
and we have a little description here, so we can kind of keep honest there.
Right. So, as I was alluding to, you get the crystal from the cave. And then depending on how you are with the Force and stuff.
Yeah, kind of.
Mystical energy.
It's like the pre...
It's like a mood ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except it's just on the mood that you got it in. It doesn't change.
Right. All right, let's start, shall we?
Yeah.
Red?
Red.
I love red.
Sith. This is a unique one.
Yeah, so dark side users must bleed their crystals and bend them to their will.
Yeah.
Similarly to how they bend the will of the Force.
Right. So
if that isn't badass, I don't know.
Basically, you're taking like, oh, hey, yeah, you made a lightsaber as a Jedi. Well, take it and put all your pain and suffering and torment and everything into it and turn that bad boy red.
So in the Star Wars MMO, I definitely played Sith and have just like a classic red lightsaber.
Yeah.
Which was a very expensive crystal in that game for some reason. Like there's like all these off reds and then you have these people with like special colors that we'll get to. But I wanted just classic red. Like you see Vader have or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the look of it. I think it's super badass.
It was a clear indicator of like, oh, this is that bad guy.
Yeah.
It's not.
But it's simple but effective.
In the new comics, so it gives you kind of a backstory of like, oh, here's how Vader did his, and Palpatine's like, all right, you got to bleed your crystal, and this is how you get your red lightsaber, and blah, blah, blah. And Vader's trying to do it, and he has a vision of him like being like, oh, I screwed up. And he goes to like Obi-Wan. He's like, oh, forgive me. I'm so sorry. And he goes to Palpatine, kills Palpatine. And it's a whole all this like kind of like alternate universe where he's like, I'm redeemed. I'm all good. And everything's fine. I'm so sorry for everything I did. And then he was like, nope. And then he just bleeds his crystal and then goes back to Palpatine. He's like, yeah, I got it.
Wow. That's wild. Would they forgive him? He killed Padme though.
I think.
Well, no, they didn't kill the kid because that's Luke.
That is Leia. Luke and Leia. Yeah,
a little. That would be that we would lose out on a lot of story there.
I feel yes, yeah. But it's cool to see like that process because I mean that's just adding the lore back into the universe, which is good.
Yeah,
I like red. We can put it. I mean, is this like a locked?
I would if you're okay to it, but
sure.
We can put it as a maybe if you're not sold on it.
No, I think that's good. I think it would be a fun exercise I think we each need to pick our lightsaber color at the end of this.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be
okay.
Good. But okay, red, got it. What's next?
Okay, blue.
Blue.
Classic. Symbol of the Jedi, who is more attuned the Force on a physical level, generally a symbol of a guardian of the Order.
Yeah.
So they're better with the blade,
mm-hmm.
And physical combat, things like that. Not as strong with the Force as some of the other colors.
Yeah, like the living Force. So like they can still be strong with the Force, but It's more like, hey, I think lightsabers are cool, and I'm gonna really train hard with the lightsaber side.
Right. These are always like to me, like as a youngin', I was always more interested in the actual lightsaber fighting.
Yeah.
And craft that worked with more than just like the Forcey stuff.
And it might be because like, back in the day, it was always like, oh, okay, blue means Padawan and green means master. And that was like the easy way of being like, oh, if you're blue, you're new, and green is like, oh, you made it to your Jedi Knight type of thing.
Right.
And I think that when you started seeing episode 2, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but like, oh, the Jedi Master Councils are all pulling out their lightsabers. Everyone has blue lightsabers and green lightsabers. You're starting to see all that stuff. Yeah. It's like, wait a second. So I think it's kind of cool that they kind of like explain this a little bit better. And okay, this is a guardian, right? So like Obi-Wan is clearly like more in tune with his fencing abilities, when maybe like Qui-Gon isn't as much. But
yeah, no, I think it's super cool. I always like the blue. Classic blue, in my opinion. How do you feel about it?
Blue's good. I don't know. Like blue to me is like, it is classic. It's almost like kind of the base, kind of like almost like boring one to me.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. It's hard for me to go away from that.
There's a lot of, it's the most common, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of blue, but I like the physical aspect of it. So I would do a maybe on it, but up to you.
Yeah, I mean, all these are going to be put on here, and then we'll just kind of start killing it unless we say like, oh no, this is terrible, we're not putting this on. But.
Okay, orange is next.
Yeah.
A Force user who had a deep connection to the Force through will, never partake in combat unless truly necessary.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, I'm not going to use this.
Right.
So Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order, I think his canonical lightsaber is orange.
Really?
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because in the game, you can make it whatever you want.
You can, which is why a lot of those colors are not, like, we're calling these canonical because technically you can kind of do it in the game, but like, I don't know any other Jedis that have, like, I don't think anyone else has an orange lightsaber, at least not to my knowledge.
No. I'm trying to think, like, the one expansion in Star Wars, The Old Republic.
So Plo Koon had an orange one in Jedi Power Battles, but I think that was purely, hey, we want to like
differentiate.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because technically Mace Windu had a like a light blue lightsaber.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're like, nah, bro, purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I like orange a lot.
Really?
Personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
I like it as a color. Orange is one of my favorite colors.
Okay.
I don't know. And this is kind of on us to decide if we care more about the meaning or the color, right? I like the idea of having a blade that's very passive. And when I'm thinking about like my personal lightsaber, right, it would be like, okay, well, this is like a last resort type of thing where like I would like to be a little bit more in tune with the Force versus necessarily like I'm just gonna pull this thing out and start like wailing on people,
right?
Type of thing.
Yeah.
But
so I think the meaning's really cool behind it as well. It's harder for me to have more of a connection to it just because we don't see anyone with it.
Sure.
So a lot of the time I like connect it with a certain character so I can really see the characteristic of the lightsaber be fully fleshed out through whoever's wielding it or whatever. So, but yeah, okay. So
I mean, it could be maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not a lock for me, but we can revisit it. Okay, I got Indigo next, which is a Force user who is a mix between a blue and purple lightsaber. Yes. So actually, let's go to purple.
Yep, good call.
Okay. Purple is a Force user who occasionally uses abilities from the dark side of the Force without being engulfed by its darkness. So Mace Windu, classically.
I find that super interesting to be like, okay, so you do have some masters being like, nah, I'm going to just be super badass and powerful with this.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. Like, I think that's a neat way of going about it. I don't know.
I think it's super interesting.
Yeah.
Tells you like a lot about yourself. Like, yes, I have darkness within myself. I'm not going to shun it or try to pretend like I don't have this. I'm going to utilize it for good. I always like that concept where it's like, okay, here are my flaws, but I can use this in a good way. And the discipline required to not be engulfed by the dark energy, I think is cool.
So do you think if we're talking about a ranking, because so you have the purple, which is that, and then the indigo is like you're dabbling. So I see purple as like, you know what you're doing. Yeah. You are as close to the line as you can be. And then the indigo is more of like, Miss Wit is kind of powerful. Let's see what we got.
Maybe doing a percentage of dark side power, purple would maybe be like you're using 75% dark side maybe, or like 50 to 75. Red's like you're at 100. And then maybe indigo's like 25%. Like it's very sprinkled in. Those are just numbers off the top of my head, but like, I don't know. That seems like a decent scale to represent it.
I would assume there's not a like the list wouldn't have indigo and purple on it. Probably
not.
Right.
I am more interested in purple personally.
I would agree with you.
Because indigo seems like you're not committed. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of scared of it.
Yep.
Which you should be, but I like purple because you're like you said, you're on the line.
Yep.
And that's commitment to the game.
So are we going to say we just kind of nix indigo?
I think we can nix indigo, yeah.
Kind of along that line, not to skip around, but magenta, which again, I would have to look into it. Magenta might not be what we consider canon.
Sure.
But I know you can have magenta on Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And the idea with this would be it's a purple lightsaber. So it used to be purple, but your force connection has weakened due to age or disconnection from the force.
Interesting.
Which I think is...
To me, it's still purple, but it's kind of just weakened, right? So I kind of put in the same... Like, you still have a purple lightsaber, but...
Yeah, which I guess my thing is, like, I'm fine just mixing it off the list.
So I guess, I mean, they're considering it whatever... I don't know where you grabbed this from, but it seems like Reddit. So
the people's voice.
I'm cool with nixing it. That's an interesting prospect though, that like your lightsaber can change through, disconnection of it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that that's the only one I see.
Right.
So why is purple the only one that can happen to, right?
Well, technically you can do like a light blue as well. That's down at the bottom.
I see. So okay, so those two. Interesting.
Yeah, which I guess if you're going off the idea that like, okay, hey, this is like Obi-Wan's thing, and this used to be your dad's lightsaber.
A light blue?
Well, the one he gave Luke was a light blue.
I see.
Which is Anakin's, which you could argue maybe not the closest to the light side of the Force. So right. I guess it depends.
That's why maybe.
Yeah. Again, connection. I think that's closer to... So I guess the other thing too is, and this is Legends, so this isn't canon. Exar Kun had a light, I think it was a double-bladed light blue lightsaber, or it was like a light blue half and green half, if I'm not mistaken. But he was actually a Sith, so
yeah,
it was a little weird.
That is interesting. I'm cool with nixing light blue. I'm not super interested in that.
I'm fine.
I
would
rather go with blue over light blue, and I would rather go with purple over magenta. But like Tyler said, light blue is a blue saber, same thing, disconnected from the Force.
I like the color, but
same. But the story of it's not as interesting to me personally, I guess.
Yep, I agree.
All right, we're gonna move on to yellow.
Yellow.
A Force user who is focused less on the Force and more on other traits such as scholarly pursuits or practical skills, often symbol of a Sentinel.
Yeah, so these are like if you're doing like the Sentinels or like the Temple Guards and stuff, they'll have yellow lightsabers. Rey had a yellow lightsaber at the end of the 9th movie.
Yep.
Which I guess if you're going off the idea that like she stole the Jedi test. before they were destroyed.
That's pretty scholarly, I guess.
Yeah,
save the books.
I guess.
Yeah.
Another interpretation of that is they're like almost perfectly balanced between the living force and between like the blue and the green lightsabers.
Right.
They're like right in the middle of. They're both good warriors and very attuned to the force.
Right.
According to the comics, Palpatine was like, oh, if one of these like schools of thought or orders or whatever are going to overthrow me, it's going to be the Sentinels because they're the most dangerous is kind of what he thought they were.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know any other Sentinels? I'm trying to think.
I don't. I know, again, everything I have is all Legends.
Yeah, sure, right.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I don't know if it's my favorite. How do you feel?
Yeah, for me, if I was going to go down that road, I would actually go more. I don't know. I like orange more than yellow personally.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Orange seems more interesting to me. Yellow is cool too. I mean, the rarer colors are always a little bit more interesting, maybe than the ones we've seen forever.
Yeah,
like blue is just like everywhere.
Yep.
Although I do like blue, like what it is, right? Like you're good at combat, which is always cool.
Like yellow's neat in a way that they're like, it's almost like the perfect balance, the Mario of the the Jedis, where it's just like, hey, it's perfect balance. They're badass. They're set. Like any problem that happens, like they're pretty.
Yeah, when someone pulls a yellow blade on you, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like you can go toe to toe with like a guardian or somebody that's like really proficient with lightsaber combat. Like yellow could keep up with them, but they could also keep up with the living force and the green guys and stuff. So it's like, okay.
But to me, if someone's gonna pull a blade, I think orange is much more interesting because it's like, oh, something's going down.
It's a wild card, right? Because it's like, all right, well, I would assume that people with orange blades would not be as proficient with them if they aren't practicing.
Right. But
you never know.
It's always like that interesting kind of story where it's like, I choose not to fight, but I'm the best.
It could
you
be.
know what I mean? Like,
could be.
Super pacifist, but like, All right, so yellow maybe, or how interested?
So for me personally, I actually like the idea of like a yellow-green. I think it's almost even more interesting, but...
Okay, let's go down to green then.
Yeah.
So green is a Force user who has a deep connection to the Force and chose to use it through Force abilities more often than fighting with a lightsaber. So
yeah,
like living Force, kind of what you were saying before.
Yeah, I mean, this could be your, hey, I'm just going to force push you off a cliff. Like, they're still dangerous as heck, but it's...
Like Yoda just pulling pieces off like a ship, throwing it at Dooku, you know what I mean? So...
Yeah.
I always like blue more than green personally, but I respect
the
green lightsaber. Like, obviously, some of the greatest Jedi Masters have green.
Yep.
So, gotta respect it.
So, considering yellow is fairly unique, if we put yellow as a maybe, do we want to say we nix the yellow-green? Because, again, it's like you're kind of like, well, I guess I'm close. So, Ahsoka is one of the more popular ones. So, I think her first lightsaber was blue.
I thought she was blue, yeah.
And then her next one was closer to like a yellow-green because she was starting to get more in tune with like the Force.
Right.
This is off topic, but I just started watching Star Wars Rebels. It's very good.
I heard good things about it.
I love it so far. Yeah. Like I'm like it's well written. It's well like I'm very into it right now.
Did you watch like Clone Wars and stuff?
No, like I started to, and I was like, okay, this is fine, but it's very like kiddie almost. And Rebels feels like I'm actively watching it. Yeah. It's not just something I put in the background.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm fine with taking off yellow green if you are, and then doing yellow. Do we want green on there?
I would put it as a maybe. Depends how strongly you feel about it.
Again, this is me of like, if I was a Jedi, like I love the idea of tying into the Force more than necessarily the blade aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I guess my thing would be, do we like green more than something like cyan, where it's like, okay, so cyan is like you're into the living force, maybe more than like a guardian and more than a blue thing, but you're still a badass with a lightsaber.
Right.
So I don't know. That's your call.
It's your call.
My call.
Maybe. Let's put it on a maybe. That's fine.
Put on a maybe.
Yeah.
For green.
Green.
Yeah.
For green.
Yeah, I'm fine taking yellow.
Is yellow on a maybe? I don't know if
it is.
Okay,
I put it on
so
there,
we just put green. Okay.
Just because it's so unique. Like
Sure.
I like the idea of that.
Wait, you said yellow is maybe?
I put it on as maybe.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so we have cayenne. Is that how you say it?
Cyan.
Cyan.
Yeah. Cyan.
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper? Yeah.
Cyan is green and blue.
Yeah.
So this is just like balanced.
It is.
Probably more balanced than yellow, I would say. Because yellow is like you're interested in other aspects. This is like actually I'm balanced between force and fighting style.
Yeah, it seems like it's the way I viewed it was balanced, but like maybe not exactly 50-50. It's more of like a 60-40 and leaning more towards like blue.
Just based off the look?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is like I don't know who uses a cyan lightsaber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is what I picked in Fallen Order, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think I went magenta, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah.
Yeah, because I just liked how it looked, but...
Exactly, like you're just going for pure aesthetics versus like the meaning behind it.
Right. It'd be cool if they had the meanings on it.
Or it'd be cool that depending on how you played the game up to that point, it gives you something.
Like if you're more favoring the Force...
If you're favoring the Force, if you're fighting, if all the dialogue options and stuff and how you handle yourself,
you have like a certain amount of collectibles and you're yellow.
That'd be so cool,
right?
That'd be so great,
dude. We're geniuses. Yep. You're a genius.
You're a genius.
Thanks, man. I'm not super interested.
I'm fine killing cyan. I mean, we're making this pretty
easy,
pretty straightforward.
Well, we have two heavy hitters here at the end, so we're the last two. So we have black.
Yes.
Possibly a Force user who brings balance / unity between a species, race, and the Force. Parentheses. Not so sure about this one, as the Darksaber is all we have to go off.
Yeah, and this is the one I was talking about where it's like, is this a lightsaber? You could make the argument that it's not.
What is it then?
So this is the sword created by the first Mandalorian Jedi.
Mm.
So if you watch The Mandalorian, you'll kind of get some of the backstory behind it.
They talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It kind of has a mind of its own, so it's like kind of Force attuned, but also it literally looks like a saber and not a like a sword, not a lightsaber.
Okay.
You can go either way. For me, it looks cool.
Looks sweet.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, is it actually a lightsaber?
What can't be? I'm going to defer to you on this. You seem to be much more knowledgeable.
I'm going off of, bless you, just kind of what I was, I don't know, reading up on or watching and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm of the mindset that it's like, well, I feel like it acts and looks and feels different than a traditional lightsaber. For me, I would not put it on the same category.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to piss people off, but
probably
that's personally me. If you like it and you think it's cool and you want to include it on the list,
super cool. Can do it. But like I said, I'm going to defer to you, and
we'll put on the maybes. We'll come back to it.
On the maybes. Okay.
You want to do the last one?
Let's do the last one. White.
White is a lightsaber which has been healed from being bled using the dark side. I believe that Ahsoka turned these into which is also super cool.
Super awesome.
Yeah,
white is definitely on the list. That is super cool.
Yeah, it's like not like these crystals have been through a lot.
Yeah,
right. It's just like, okay, you got your initial Force user, then you got bled, and then you got like purified.
It's like the third color. Yeah, I think there's something cool about that.
It's pretty cool.
There's a history of the saber.
Yep,
and it's interesting. This is the only one really on there that's not like, this is who you are, this is what you use. This is like, no, this is just what happened to this saber.
Yeah,
right.
And it's Well, it's very deliberate. So both the red and the white I like a lot. And the reason why, and I guess you could argue like, okay, but this is the same for both of them. It is very deliberate. And this is like, you're willing it to be like a specific
what you
color.
Want. Right.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
I think that's very interesting to me. Because it doesn't tell you anything about the person except that they went through this specific process to get the saber to this color. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should be on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it should be on.
I'm with you. So are we saying that red and white are definitely on the list?
I would like it that way. Yes.
Okay. So you like blue.
I do like blue.
Okay.
It's maybe not my favorite. I like purple more than blue. I'll tell you that.
I do too. I think purple should be on the top 5.
I agree.
Okay.
So we have 3.
We have 3.
I am willing to go orange for you. I know you like it a lot, but I think it's very interesting as well.
Do you like orange more than yellow?
Yes.
I agree. Okay.
Yes, I do.
So then, because you went orange for me.
Okay.
What's
all right. Well, I picked purple as well.
No, we definitely agree on purple.
What do we have left?
So we have blue, yellow, green, or we could argue black. If you like black, we could put black on the list.
I think black's sweet. Like if it counts, definitely should be on. But you're saying you don't feel like it counts, so I'm like, I don't know a lot about the black saber.
Neither do I. Again, short of what's in the Mandalorian, like the very, very little bit that I researched online. So it's one of those like, okay, I mean, if you want to say it's a saber, we can put it on there.
Even this guy doesn't know too much about it.
Yeah, well, yeah sure.
But no, user. I defer to you. If you don't think it belongs, that meets the qualifications of a
I think it's a
lightsaber.
It's a different class.
Okay.
Personally.
That's fine. Respect it, though. It looks awesome. And
yeah, I know. It
cool.
looks great. I mean, when the Mandalorian's trying to use it, and it's actively fighting against him, I feel like that's something different than, like, anyone could use a lightsaber. Look at, I don't know, what's Finn picking. I mean, he's bad Grievous. With it, but yeah. General Grievous, yeah, exactly.
It's a great example.
Well, General Grievous was trained, so at least that's something. But
yeah, but he wasn't a Jedi.
True. Yeah.
And he's using Jedi weaponry.
Yep.
So you don't have to be, I don't know. So blue, yellow, green are pretty much our options.
Yeah, I mean, I assume yellow gets taken off, or
I'd probably go blue personally. That's just my thought.
If I'm looking at a lightsaber, I would say you are blue 100%.
I would be red, but yeah.
You would go red, or maybe like purple. So you see yourself more as
no. I played myself in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO.
So you would.
That's exactly what I want to be. I want to be Sith.
Bad.
Yes.
You'd be evil.
100%.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I would definitely.
So the 5 we have right now are red, blue, orange, purple, and white.
Red, blue, orange, purple, and white. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're talking number 5.
Okay.
Are we thinking...
If I was on the good team, I just want to mention this.
Yeah, okay.
I would probably be blue. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is boring. Like, I would want to say purple, but here's the thing. If I'm purple, I'm just going to be red. I can't...
And that's
I get corrupted.
I
get corrupted. So I would need to be blue or nothing.
Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah. Right.
Nice. Okay.
I'm assuming you'd be orange.
I think that I would like to be orange. Yes.
Yeah. That seems very Tyler.
I don't want to necessarily study, which is why yellow wouldn't be it. And yellow, I think yellow is more balanced, where they are also good fighters and whatnot too. Yeah. Where orange is like, yeah, no, I have this thing.
I got dragged into this as a kid, but I don't really want to fight.
No, I kind of want to just hang out.
That's definitely own your little shop.
That's it.
In Mos Eisley's, yeah.
I like orange a lot.
Okay, so 5. Blue, I guess. Just very common, kind of a little bit more boring maybe than the other ones, I would say, because we see it so much.
I'd be fine with that if
that's just kind of my thought. I do like blue, but I do recognize it's like, okay, another blue one. Like you're not special. Yeah. You're not special. There's been a million. I've seen a million before you. I'll see a million after you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I do respect blue. I do like it.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. I would go orange.
Yeah, I'm looking between orange and white.
Really, I think white's very cool.
I think white's cool as well.
I think white's definitely cooler than orange, just because there's more story to it.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot's happened to get to this point.
I'm with you. I can
and I think
that.
aesthetically it looks cool. Like the white just looks cool. It's just clean. It's like I feel like a white blade comes out and you're like, whoa. Yeah. Like oh.
Sure.
You know I mean? I'll tell you this, like someone pulls a white blade on me, I'm definitely more scared than an orange blade. Like 100%.
Fair enough. No, I'll give you that.
Okay, number 3. So you want white here, I'm assuming.
Well, no. So I don't like.
I would put purple here.
It's tough, man, because purple.
I think white's so cool.
White is super cool, but purple
is also very cool.
I feel like it to be able to wield that, and to skate that line so perfectly, to have essentially your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. I mean, Mace Windu, that's why Mace Windu is one of the best, right? Like he's just the dude.
Yeah.
And you're right. That takes an incredible amount of discipline.
Like you're literally, every time you pull that out, you are opening yourself up to just fall into darkness.
You have to always be on.
Yeah.
Because you just go a little bit too, cross that line once.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what do you think 3 then? Like, what are you leaning towards?
I would do either white or red on 3.
Okay.
I know you like red a lot.
I would do white on 3. I can get
I'd be fine
that.
with that. And the reason why I said white or red would be I could go either way with them, where it's like I feel like it's like the effort to put into it.
Yeah.
They're
very similar in that aspect, right?
I just don't know if it's harder to bleed a crystal or purify a crystal.
Probably purify. I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking out my butt, but it probably depends on who's doing it. Like if you have a really strong Sith Lord that puts a lot of hatred into his, lightsaber, it's probably really hard to heal because it's very damaged.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's unnatural, right? Like one is you're literally ripping through what the natural state of this stuff is.
Yeah.
And then the purifying one is you're almost like healing it.
I just love it's not lost. You can still recover it.
Yeah.
And then you get this like really sweet looking blade after that, which is so cool.
That's your reward. You look cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. White 3. That's good. So I'm assuming you want purple 1 then. Is that what we're talking about? Because I definitely want red 1, but
so I will say purple 2, red 1. And the reason being is because while it is crazy to be able to skate that line, you can still more or less, I mean, like you're still falling back on your teachings. You're still doing where with red, you're literally like, no, I need to do this unnatural thing.
Yeah.
And where you would assume that with light and dark and balance, and everyone's talking about balance and blah, 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 blah. And it's like purple should really be where everyone's at, right?
I mean, if we're looking at it on like a human scale, I guess. I don't think people have that much control.
Right.
Yeah, so I think purple is definitely more rare because I don't think like people would get that power.
Yeah.
And just get corrupted by it.
They get corrupted by it, but they don't have the power to bleed a crystal either. So I think it's like
you're probably looking at like magenta at that point then, right? Like
you can get
purple's got to be like you have such mastery over it.
Right.
That you can skirt the line.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very rare.
Yeah. I mean, so are you saying you want purple as number 1?
No, I'm saying I want red because like you, it's like you have the teachings, you have all this shit, and then it's like, nope, fuck that. I am forcing this.
Yeah, like you are
like raw emotion. I'm like always into that, like just super like angry time. Raphael from the Ninja Turtles, like
sure,
we're just gonna brute force this. And also, I just think it looks sweet.
Yeah, no,
I like the characters who wield them. So it's like, I don't know, something I think of as well is like, I'm not condoning any of this. Like, obviously they're all bad.
Yeah.
But like Voldemort from Harry Potter, like the Horcruxes.
Yeah.
I always find it fascinating. Like, how far are you willing to go to win?
Yeah.
He splits his soul into like X amount of parts, kills people because he wants to be immortal. So I get like the same kind of vibe where it's like, I'm bleeding my crystal. I'm corrupting.
Right.
Going down this path and no return, right? And I think that's cool because it's like they're committing. they're going for it.
But that's why I don't like. I get with like Vader and I get Palpatine and stuff.
Right.
But when you're looking at someone like Count Dooku, it's like they gave him a red lightsaber, and of course, maybe there's a book out there in the canon now that explains whatever.
Sure.
But like when you're looking at him, and he's just like, no, I think the Jedi are hypocrites, and the Order is just ridiculous. So to me, it's like, well, why did you give him a red lightsaber? Which again, whenever these movies were made,
they were
none of this mattered.
Of course,
like, this wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Right. But like, okay, well, why did you give him a red blade when he sounds like he is more like almost like a light blue or something where like he is a really, really good swordsman and like Yoda taught him and whatever, and he's maybe aligned more to the Guardian style, but he is like almost disconnected from the Force. So it's like it's almost like he deserves a
he always seemed like he was much more rational about it than
like
a lot of the other
pure
Sith.
rage and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe it comes at a place, and I'm speculating, of course, of rage. After seeing years and years of the hypocrisy of the Jedi, he has a deep rage within him that he puts on a good face and seems very rational about everything, but deep down, maybe like this boiling
or he just wants to tear the crystal apart and be like, this is ridiculous, I'm destroying
I think he eventually comes to hate the Jedi, and that's what he uses. But his like outlet isn't as like mad as like a Kylo Ren or punching everything or like or Vader like being mad. He has a different like outlet, but I think it comes from the same place of hatred.
How do you feel about Kylo Ren's little crossbar? A little too.
I think it's okay. I don't know. I know people really like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some people really like it, I think, and it's different. It's cool. I don't know. I wasn't huge into it. Also, like his was like different, like the ways his like vibrated and stuff. You know what I mean? It was like very unhinged.
It was
kind
unstable.
Yeah,
because he was
like
rushing
unstable.
it. So that's actually from the books where Tenel Ka like made it and it like blew up on her. She lost an arm and everything.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like I was getting those type of vibes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and it's like, how cool would it be if he was making it and it was just unstable?
Yeah.
So instead of having that crossbar, he just added like one, like just real hastily, like I'm just gonna stick this here and I'll vent the rest of the like plasma or whatever off the side.
Yeah. I
thought that would be just as like unique of a looking of a blade, but it really kind of shows the haphazard slapping it together. I just want my lightsaber. Like, let's go type of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was.
The millennial approach.
The millennial Jedi approach.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I get it. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but I get it.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm just like the classic, like Vader's blade, man. Like just the classic.
Yeah.
Red.
I
don't know. It's simple. It's minimalist.
And
super cool.
It's funny because everything that you would say, again, color wise, it's like, okay, well, you see blue and red all the time. Blue, red, green.
Yeah.
And red, just I think the thing that sets it apart is it has that backstory. It has this like extra stuff. But
so like I don't know. Like you look at like some of the cinematics from the Old Republic. Those cinematics are fantastic, by the way. When the MMO, those are like really old too, and they really like still hold up pretty well.
Yeah, they're super cool.
But like, there's something about like the one where they crash into the Jedi Temple and they all come out, and then all you see is just like one red blade in the dark, and then 15 more, and you're like, fuck. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like we associate a red blade with like huge power.
Yeah.
Because it's like in the movies that we're used to, there's like one big bad guy or two that could take on just a bunch of fucking.
Well, there's only supposed to be two, right? Like, so that's this is all pre. So it's like,
the Old Republic's sweet because it's like I love seeing multiple Sith.
Yep.
And the power struggle and like shit like that. But there's like a bunch of them. But like when they do team up like that, and you just see like 15 red blades, you're like, it's over.
Yeah, it's like, how do you?
They're so strong. Yeah, I mean,
you don't win this.
Yeah, you don't win this. So I don't know. I think things like that are super cool. So. Red's my favorite. I would like it at number one, but I am willing to hear the dissenting opinion.
Nope. I'm with you on red being number one.
Cool.
So to read this off, number 5 is blue, Guardians. Number 4 is orange, the Pacifists. Number 3 is white, the
purifiers.
purifiers.
Yeah.
And number 2 is like the purple, which is the, I don't know, skating the line.
Yeah.
Guys, whatever you want to call those.
Skating the line guys.
The edgers.
I think it's the...
And number 1 is red, which is the most anguished of all the
edgelords.
Ex-Jedis. The sweatiest of all the Jedis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sweatiest, maybe. It probably gets hot in that suit for Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He's probably, if he has any sweat glands left, which it probably not.
He has nothing. It's glass.
Yeah. All right. Well,
that's it.
There it is. That was a fun top 5.
Yeah. I was out of research where I'm like, okay, what are some of the best lightsabers I can get? Turns out they're like $600. So I'm not getting a lightsaber.
Yeah, if you like build your own online, I hear it's like better quality than Disney anyways.
I went back and I looked at some of the ones that were like, instead of buying, because I really want Obi-Wan's episode 1 lightsaber. Like I want a really perfect replica.
Yeah.
And the one in Star Wars Land or whatever is like thicker.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is good. It displays well, but it's like chunky.
Sure.
And I'm like, I want something that feels real good.
Chunky monkey.
And they put the license out to a lot of manufacturers now. Yeah. So it just straight up says like Obi-Wan's lightsaber. So you can get Obi-Wan's lightsaber for a couple $100.
I think that's the road to go down for sure.
Dude, I was getting down a deep hole of like, okay, here's the sound effects, and this is the better soundboard you want in your lightsaber, and this thing you can pay $600 for just the hilt with no electronics or anything else in it. You have to put that in separately. Wow. And there's like a guy named like Dave will put this in. He's really great and communicative. Anyway.
Give him the call sign, and he'll know what it means.
I just need to buy a house. I just need to take
that's
please
shifted.
Just get my money.
That's shifted.
No, I'm just saying like I'm buying all these dumb things.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm just so excited to like have a place to put them and display them and they're just gonna sit in my room. I bought and I don't want to take up time with this, but I bought a Spotify car thing. It's literally called a car thing.
Okay.
And it's just a thing for your dash. It's like here's a touchscreen, a little knob, and it just connects to your phone. And it's just a remote control for your Spotify for your phone.
It's not bad.
Your phone has this.
It does.
I just found that out.
Yeah.
There's literally like a car mode on Spotify.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Scammed.
I need an outlet. And I can't buy any more keyboard stuff because I'm still
bleed
waiting
a
for
crystal
stuff from 2020.
Put all your rage into a lightsaber.
Dude, it's going to be like
buy a blank one and then see if you can get mad enough to turn it red.
That would be... I think you can...
What if there was like a mood ring lightsaber where you're like really mad and it's like feeling your pulse and shit and then it just turns red?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was a lot. I think we used our time well.
Yeah.
Good luck with the timestamps, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And check us out on couchcompany.games. Podcast is listed there. Top 5s.
I tweaked some of that stuff, so it should all be...
Yeah,
all
it
links
looks
good. Discord was... I fixed the Discord link. I don't know if anyone ever cared about that, but our Discord is open. You can join the Discord and chat
Discord,
and hang out.
And everything's on there. And then at Couch Code Games on Twitter. Check out our polls. I just put one up, which one did I put up?
For
Iron Man or Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah,
I like how you put Iron Man first.
I put Captain America first.
Oh, you just said Iron Man first, so.
Because I agree. I like Iron Man better. I'm just saying, I think if you polled the population of Marvel watchers, Cap would win. And I think it would surprise everyone.
I think that's silly. They want Captain America to be Wolverine, the Russo brothers.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Yeah, I can't see it, but...
he can't re-enter because he's Cap forever.
I don't want to... this is going to be for next episode.
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness, not good. I do not like that. That is my least favorite.
We're not even going to open that can of worms right now.
That's my least favorite Marvel movie.
And on that note, let us know how you feel about that comment. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Same time, same place. I already said thanks for joining us, but on the couch. Peace.